All right, what is up, everyone? My name is Speedy. Welcome to NotSoSpeedRuns. We are here with 6 and 20 Metropolis. As you can tell, I have a cold. Don't worry about it. I'm just here reprising my role as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and we'll be getting started in just a moment. You may also notice that 2 of our cast are still images. They found themselves transported to a strange 2-dimensional world where they can no longer move. Meta and McLoken are having internet issues. They're here right now. They're on the voice call. Say hi.
I'm a computer.
Yep, they're here. So we're just going to go in with just their audio for right now. If their internet gets fixed somewhere in the middle, we'll get their video back on and everything. But let's go ahead and get started. First, by going around to our wonderful cast and asking them, who they are and how they're doing today. Starting, as we usually do, with the unblinking image of Morrigan, Metamancer.
Hi guys, I'm Metamancer. Look at me, I'm waving in my mind. Sorry, no internet, but I also won't be using Twitch chat either, so I can't see our lovely folks in chat because data usage. But anyway, I play Morrigan, and I'm very curious to see what happens today because we left off on a very serious, heavy character development moment for pretty much everybody in the party. So, I am looking forward to it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. And with that, let's turn things over to our next cast member over there, Trendane.
Hi, I'm Trendane. I'm broadcasting from the surface of the sun, almost close. Well, I'm close to it. And there, if at any point you hear any squeaking or banging, it is the rose bush outside my bedroom window, which is trying to get in anytime the wind blows, and so it keeps banging and scratching its thorns on the window, going, "Let me love you." It's probably Henry Vines. Anyway,
Fine fellow.
yes. So I'm playing. Meta, did you say who you were playing?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I phased out somewhere in
Why?
there. I don't know. I thought you didn't for some reason. I lost my mind temporarily. It happens.
Rose bush is getting in your head.
No. And I'm playing some guy, Calvin, the miraculously indifferent right now. He's just like, all right, ciao, choose. Our feet are the same, which they're not because he has hooves. But anyway, he's doing great. It's wonderful, beautimous, and we'll cover that in the thing. I do have a question for you, Johnny, that I want to cover first before I forget. Since Meta and
McLoken.
Thank you. It's written right there. I don't know why I can't. Well, anyway, who's rolling for them?
They are going to roll using their own dice.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. So in light of that, McLoken, go.
We have
Hello,
the utmost trust.
my name's McLoken. Press 1 if you're happy. Press 2 if you're upset.
Pound.
Press 3 if you're ready to roleplay.
Pound.
Hi everyone, I'm McLoken. If you notice me, I'm a still picture on the screen. I don't know what picture they put up, so I hope it's a beautiful one. Or it's one where I'm completely blackout drunk and I look like an asshole. Today I'm playing Johnny. I'm super excited because this clearly our internet went out at like 6 p.m. And I was just like, motherfucker, because the show for us starts at 7. And I was like, this is good timing because this is going to be a really either a dramatic episode or none of us are going to talk to each other the whole episode. I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens. And and I'm super excited to play today. Even though I'm on the phone, I will try to portray Johnny the best as I can over my phone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the show must go on. Couldn't stand to be without you, anyways. So Johnny, why don't you just tell us real quick who you are and all that good stuff?
I'm Johnny. I'm the Video Store Cowboy, and I am the MC for this crazy freaking thing. I'm kind of interested to see how what we get from Morrigan and Johnny today, since voice only, it really kind of pushes the tabletop player a little bit. I'm actually kind of excited. So yeah, that's me.
It's true. It's a good experiment, right? We're pushing the limits. We might end up talking over each other sometimes because we can't see their faces at all, but that's fine. And I am Speedy. I am the host of this show over here on NotSoSpeedRuns, and I am playing as Geo, the bartender who has a mysterious past and who has been very interested in trying to find out the meaning behind all of this, the destiny that is pulling each of us together, and of interested in making sure that none of us get too lost within our rifts, as sort of came to head last week. Before we get started officially and turn things over to Johnny for the recap and setting the scene again, I want to throw out a few announcements. First of all, we have a giveaway going on. So if you guys did not see on Twitter already, we are doing a giveaway of a copy of the City of Mist core rulebook. The link is in chat to enter right there. You just gotta follow some stuff, and can enter win. The game itself is awesome. We've also been super enjoying it. So if you are so inclined, enter that giveaway right there for a chance to win. Additionally, if you don't want to take the risk of whether or not you win that giveaway, you can go ahead and just buy a copy of the book over at that link there in chat. City of Mist has a coupon code for us. You can use the code 6N20FAN to get $5 off the core rulebook and PDF. It's only on that site where you can get both the physical copy and the PDF. And so, super good deal. You should absolutely do that. And plus, it helps support the show and let us keep doing what we're doing here. Also, if you haven't already, there's a tweet out. Make sure to retweet it. Let everyone know that you're here, and help support and spread the word. Other than that, I don't think we have any more announcements. So I will turn things over to Johnny, Video Store Cowboy, to begin the session.
All right. Previously on 6 and 20 Metropolis, after the crew had gone through, what was an incredible ordeal, and then Johnny had his little side adventure as Johnny the Crow, the crew went their separate ways and did some montages. Cal got laid, made some pancakes. Geo dealt with some emotional baggage, I believe, from the being transformed into a crow. Johnny went to his day job and shoved the pizza through a imaginary tunnel, and Morrigan recovered at her private home from her burned tags that she had executed a stop holding back previously to send everybody out as a crow, have everybody become a crow. The crew decides to get back together at the Queen of Hearts, where all hell breaks loose in respect to inner conflict among the group. Cal confronts Morgan over the death of...
Murder.
The murder of what he perceives as an innocent?
No.
Okay. All right. So Cal confronts Morgan over the death of someone that she is responsible for, a murder as he puts it. Johnny learns of this dark side of Morgan and reacts in a way that shows that he has a great deal of confusion. And Geo confronts Morgan as well, asking her never to do what she had done to him again because it exposed him to something he was trying to escape, his past. But they resolve their issues and decide that they're going to go together to the prison to confront Gephardt, who she has found may not be actually in prison, and she needs to confirm some things. So we're going to fade back into the scene as Gio is just finishing up his day at work, and Morrigan is outside trying to find where Johnny is, when an individual comes up and asks him a very simple question. So, who is that over there?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Anatoly Vidalis. You may have heard of me. Now, who are those two? There seems to be a little bit... I mean, there was quite a storm here of conflict, but those two interest me. Can you tell me who they are?
Couldn't tell you. Certainly not regulars here.
They may not be regulars here, but I know you know them, Gio. I saw you speaking to them, and I know your boss. So please, as a courtesy to your employer,
look, I talk to a lot of people here. I don't always know them as well as you might think.
you were quite in an intimate conversation with that woman there that just walked out after that young man. That young man with an extraordinary set of pipes.
No comment.
Does he call him strapping too?
No, that's just Errol. Weird.
I'll be honest with you, I really don't know too much about them. The woman, she's a doctor of some kind. She helps people. Or so she says. The boy, couldn't tell you.
Now, Gio, I would consider it a personal favor to me if you would tell me who they really are.
That's,
I'm happy to return that favor whenever you need it.
Well, Mr. Vidalis, knowing your reputation, it is an honor to receive an offer of a favor from you. However, I must decline. There are bigger reasons why I cannot tell you.
I will not forget.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, you may go. And he turns back to his table, drinks his drink. The 3 bodyguards that are with him follow him out the front door.
That ain't good. And I will proceed to close out my shift and go to regroup with Morrigan.
Morrigan, I believe you had stepped outside at the end of the last episode to take a look for Johnny, or you were heading out to your car. Where do we find you as Gio is coming to you?
Yeah, I actually went to my car and I just pulled it up to wait for Gio to get out of the building.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no more conflict coming from this guy, then I close out my shift and I meet Morrigan in the car. We should be careful. There was
What's going on?
a guy who came up to me after you left. Vidalis.
Something.
Yeah, it would. I mean, if you're working with the cops anyways. One of the biggest crime bosses in the city.
Oh, right. Yeah. I never
And-
actually dealt with any of his organization, I don't think. Or at least not him directly, but yeah.
Yeah. He's the kind of guy who tries to stay clean, at least on the books.
Yeah.
But,
that's why he's not behind bars.
Yeah. He seems to have taken an interest in you and Johnny. And
Oh, great.
I assume me as well. I didn't tell him anything, for what it's worth. But he offered me a
Okay.
favor in exchange for information, which is not something that he gives lightly.
That means he's very interested. You need to find Johnny.
That we do.
I don't know if Johnny's going to ever talk to me again. Maybe not for a while.
I'll just text him. Make sure he stays hidden for a while.
Probably a good idea. All right. Well, do you have anything that you need from your place before we head up to the prison?
No, we should just go.
All right. We should probably talk about what your cover is before we arrive.
That's a good
I'm
point.
good friends with the warden from all the work that we've done, but if you're coming in there, probably something not just we met and you're a bartender.
That's true. We're going in there because you think he escaped, right? Or something like that.
Johnny is telling. I mean, Johnny said that Malcolm and that group and the woman now. It's just there's too many coincidences. It's Mr. Caparelli got out somehow. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. The warden said he was there, but I just don't. I don't know.
How about we just say I was a personal witness. I thought I saw Mr. Caparelli on the street, recognized him from the papers a few years ago, and got curious. Asked,
Okay.
even begged you to give me proof that he wasn't around anymore.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
All right. Shall we go?
Yeah, let's do this. I really don't want to go. I hate the prison. It's just bad memories there, I guess.
Before the both of you go to the prison, we're going to cut to either Cal or Johnny, depending upon who feels more ready to kind of step into the spotlight. But as Morgan, as you're going to the prison with Gio, is there anything that you would do beforehand to kind of prepare for this? Would you stop by your office? Would you ping Derek again? What, is there anything that you would do essentially in preparation for this kind of situation?
I would probably go back to my office and grab some of the notes that I had on the case from before, just to refresh my memory.
Okay. All right. So we're going to cut as you drive off from the Queen of Hearts back towards your office in preparation for going to the prison. Who would like to go next? Cal? Johnny?
Either or. If Cal's ready, he can go. Or if he's not, I can go.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I want Johnny to do is to explore his mythos in a montage.
Okay.
And what this entails is that as soon as he leaves the Queen of Hearts, he just starts running. And as he's running, he's not letting anything stopping him, at all. And the mist is guiding him to a place. And he's at a moment where he feels like he doesn't know if he needs to fight Morrigan or not. He doesn't know, who is he meant to fight. And he ends up in a shady part of town. Now, what he ends up at is a underground fighting ring. At this underground fighting ring, Johnny gets to participate in the fighting. And what he does is that he beats everyone with one punch. And he keeps doing this over and over and gets a large sum of money. But he's so hungry and angry, he just keeps knocking out everyone. So my question is where would this underground fighting ring be in the city?
Okay. So there are probably a couple going on. The couple questions about this. Would Johnny have ever done this before?
No.
Okay. How would Johnny think about going about doing this? How would he end up there? Is it something where it's almost instinctual that he would just kind of end up in this particular place?
I'm saying that the mist guided him to there at that moment because he's angry and he's not thinking like Johnny. He's thinking like his mythos.
He's thinking like his mythos. Okay. Then he would probably end up in the docks off of the blue collar district.
Okay.
And at the docks, there would be you would find yourself essentially at a warehouse basically on the waterfront next to the ships where that kind of a setup. And I'll let you build the scene out and kind of establish what it looks like. But that's the general setting for it, where you would find it.
So basically what Johnny does is he hears this warehouse and he hears people cheering in this moment. And what he does is he just walks in nonchalantly. If anyone tries to stop him, he pushes them out of the way. And he walks up to the ring as a fight ends. And as this fight ends, he notices that it's a big member of the Skulls that is sitting in the middle of this ring, and he's been undefeated all night. So Johnny just walks up and stands there and doesn't say anything. He has a dead set look at this guy, and what happens is that this guy starts poking him around and saying, hey, basically he's just no, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you, and runs up and goes to punch him, and Johnny just fucking goes in, punches the guy in the gut, and blows him back all the way to the wall. He flies all the way to the wall and is knocked unconscious. And then Johnny just stands there, and everyone just is quiet. And then people start cheering, and then more and more people come to fight him. And all he does is just hit them once. And that's what ends up happening. It's through for the next few hours, Johnny is just person after person after person, just knocking them down. And what he's doing is that he's reaching his third attention to his expression card. And so so whenever he makes a dynamite on hit him with all you've got, it's dynamite now. So if it's 12 club, right? So he's really hitting everyone with all he's got, and then he's just really focused on that and practicing it. And then the montage will end after he kind of comes down a little bit, and he's and the fighting's done for the evening because he beat all the fighters in a quick succession. So I imagine it was 5 p.m. when that whole scene with Morrigan happened, I think, if I got that correct.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say the montage would last until for about 3 hours, so it'd be about 8 p.m. currently, where Johnny's at.
Okay, and you said you're focusing on Indomitable in that theme book?
No, it'd be the expression, yeah. So it'd be like so the one of the improvements. So it's an improvement, so I can do dynamite with the move, hit him with all you've got.
No, yeah, I understand, but so which theme book is it actually? Is it Giant Strength?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're exploring your mythos, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So you get the attention, right? Or hold on a second. Let me just double check something real quick.
While you're doing that, I really hope that at some point after he's beaten the living shit out of everybody, that the rest of the crowd is just standing there sort of dumbfounded, just staring quietly, and he pulls a Russell Crowe and it's like, are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
I want to see a point somewhere in the middle of the fights where he pulls out his phone and sees the message from Geo that says, bad guys are looking for you. Stay low profile, please.
Low profile tonight.
While the crowds are cheering, Johnny! If you told them your name. Which I don't know if you would.
Okay, so the reason what I wanted to check there is you not only get the attention, but you also get a clue in exploring your mythos.
Okay.
So if you want to ask that question now, you can. If you want to let Cal go real quick, and then you can come back with that question, we can do that too.
I kind of want to open up to the table because I don't know what question per se would, or what he would find out in an underground area. So let's go to Cal, and then we can come back to me and ask that question after, like, that's like the butt end of the montage, like after everything's coming down. If we can do it like that, if that's cool.
Okay, that's fine. Just make sure, just remember that it is related to your mystery. So it's related to the question that you have for that theme book. That should help you focus kind of, where you're going to go with that.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cal, you ready?
Yeah.
Right, sure.
So Cal goes to get laid. Okay, McLoken, what's your clue you're looking for? No, I'm kidding.
He's not going to let you
I had an answer, but no, you wouldn't let me answer in time.
God damn it. No, that's not where Cal is going. It's 5 p.m. Xanadu is probably just starting to open by now.
Mm-hmm.
And Cal is standing outside across the street, not at the Fog's Brew, but is standing outside on the other side, just staring at the door and potentially Tamonte. He's not looking at Tamonte, but he keeps looking at the building and kind of pacing back and forth like he's trying to decide whether or not he wants to go in.
Okay.
And then he keeps looking between Xanadu and back over towards Acer Industries in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to flip a coin to see where he goes. I'm going to flip my poop coin. Woo!
Gross.
Yep. It's got a pile of dog shit on one side and it's got a dog pooping on the other. And so we'll call the dog side heads and we'll call the poop side tails because it makes sense. But which one is which? We'll call the poop side Acer because ass. That's the poop side. So he's going to Acer Industries.
Okay.
And when he gets there, he's going to walk to the receptionist whether or not it's the same person from before.
It is, but by the time you get there, it's about 5:30, and people are starting to flood out of the building as the workday is ending.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know.
Yep. Figured. And so he will stroll up to the receptionist and do that whole super charming smile thing and say, you know, I will understand perfectly if you cannot answer this question for security reasons, but I'm curious to know if Mr. Bjorn is still here. If not, it's no problem. I can try to catch up with him another time, but I did have a rather urgent question, ultimately personal, private, whatever question.
She kind of puts the phone to the side for a second. He's usually here till 6. That's when business hours typically. I mean, sometimes he's here at night. Do you have an appointment?
No, that's part of the reason why I didn't lead with I have an appointment.
Okay.
But it would only take a moment. But again, if he's not available, I'm happy to wait until he decides whether or not he can see me.
You are?
Calvin Gannicus.
And may I ask what this is regarding, Mr. Gannicus?
Well, as I said, it's a little bit personal. I mean, it's nothing. It's not like an emergency or anything. That's why I say it's fine if he doesn't want to meet with me. But do you remember the young man who was here earlier? Actually, I believe it was yesterday.
I remember you from yesterday, Mr. Gannicus. I remember the group of people that you were in, and that there was that young man that came out with Mr. Bjorn.
Yes, it's actually regarding him. Like I said,
is there something wrong with him? Is Johnny okay?
No, nothing at all. Like I said, it's not urgent. It's just something I was hoping to speak with him about. And if it's a problem, it's no problem. As odd as that sounds, I can just catch up with him some other time.
Do you want to have a seat over there while I inquire?
Sure. Be happy to. Thank you very much.
And she begins to get on the phone and do a couple of things, and you see that she's doing a number of things as the day is closing, and everybody is kind of just making their way out of the building. And then she kind of waves you back after about 10 minutes, and she says, he doesn't really have any time right now. He is a fan of your columns, though. He has read your articles, so he would like to have a conversation with you. He thought dinner, and he thought that you might be able to suggest a place.
I can suggest several. What is asking you what he's in the mood for? I have many suggestions that will probably meet with his expectations.
He can do a late dinner this evening at about 8:30.
Perfectly fine by me.
It would give you an hour, and then you can talk to him. But just he's partial to that young man. So I mean, he made sure to let me know that the next time that young man comes in, that he is more than welcome to have access to the entire building. So okay.
Johnny tends to have that kind of a.
Do you want to leave me a card, and I'll
Yes.
make the arrangements?
Yes, absolutely. Most of the information on this is wrong, but the cell phone is accurate. Actually, let me jot down. No, why would I do that? I don't have an office anymore. Like I said, but the cell phone is accurate. And
she takes it, and she says, his personal assistant will call you at 7:30 to find the location.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. Just if you would please pass along to him or the personal assistant that if he can let me know what sort of a style of food, what kind of thing he's craving. It'll make it easier for me to figure things out ahead of time.
I'll send that personal note.
Wonderful, thank you.
You have a nice day, Mr. Gannicus.
And you. What was your name?
Claire.
Claire. Very nice to meet you, Claire.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Gannicus.
And he walks out.
Okay.
And goes to the park.
All right. Johnny, do you have your question ready yet?
So I'm trying to think of what question I would ask that kind of relates to my mythos at that moment in time.
So,
and it's a clue about my mythos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, is there? That's a question. Like, I'm having trouble coming up with a question related to my mythos and the area I'm in. Is there anyone who is who's looking like they want to fight me, or like I'm meant to fight them?
There's nobody there that looks like they're meant to fight. They want to fight you right now. You are garnering a lot of attention. You do, after you begin to calm down a little bit, you recognize who the organizers of this fighting ring are. And you realize that they're taking great interest in you and kind of talking back and forth and kind of pointing. And you realize that they are definitely, they're excited about the prospect of you as a fighter.
Okay. Do I recognize any of them?
Do you recognize any of them? No. This is not a situation where, I mean, Johnny is a 17 or 16-year-old high school student. You know, he's a junior. You know, this is not the kind of place that he's going to hang out. He doesn't really recognize anybody because everybody here is either a dock worker or a, you know, some sort of a blue collar kind of a worker kind of a kind. And they're all at least 5 to 10 years older than Johnny. There are no young punks.
Okay.
His home ec teacher's probably there too.
Say what?
Yeah,
his home ec teacher's probably there too.
What it comes down to is like it's more like any of the organizers, or like any like gang members I would have seen, or anything
You definitely see some gang affiliation tattoos all over the place, right? You see, some skulls. You do see some beasts. And one or two others. You don't see any alley cats as they've come up, for other crews. So no, you don't see any alley cats.
Okay. Do the beasts and the skulls like stay away from each other? This is just me, the observation. Like,
do they stay away from each other? Is Johnny really in a state of mind where he's going to pay attention to things like that?
I was just curious because I don't know if they have like beef with each other, but Johnny wouldn't notice. Like as soon as like he starts coming down a little bit, he would just leave, not say anything to anyone, and just kind of like start heading out the door in a Johnny manner. He's like, and making and like beelining for the door.
Okay. All right. So I think a question that you could ask based on this, and you can still hold on to this if you want to, but I want to prompt you a little bit about, because it's related, why do you fight, right? Who is your ultimate opponent kind of a thing. It might awaken some memory or it might trigger some, visualization or some dream that you had that relates to the Kraken, to the vision that Malcolm talked about when he was talking about being on a ship and fighting a steam monster, right? Any one of those things might kind of like it might awaken some of that, and that's where your question might stem from. So if you want to think about that,
I think what Johnny would then, like, who is he supposed to fight? He would get the clue. He would just imagine like throwing someone into a whirlpool, and that's someone, and they could never get out. And that he just has a strong feeling that he's like, that was his fight. And that's who he's supposed to fight. But he doesn't know what that means. Like, it's like his thought, but it's not his thought. It's a very it's like a very deja vu kind of feeling that he's having. And he right when he gets to the entrance, he just kind of like stops and like kind of looks perplexed a little bit. And sits there for like a minute, like dwelling on the thought before he heads out the door.
Okay, so is that the memory that's coming up, or is that the imagery that's coming up for Johnny when that happens?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're kind of pondering that, and as it's happening, there's a thought kind of comes in, and this is the clue. There's a kind of a thought or a feeling or an impression that the whirlpool is slowing, that it is vanishing.
Oh. Well then. Okay.
And that troubles something deep inside of you.
Yeah. Johnny's very concerned about that. He doesn't know why he's concerned about that, but he feels super concerned about that.
Okay.
So he would like leave immediately.
Okay.
He has a feeling. So like the Morrigan killed someone, and that's whatever, you know. Like he's coming to the realization that like there's something out there worse than the Morrigan, and he has some tie to it, and he doesn't know what it is.
Okay.
And he's like, and he's very much like, and he has the open mind tag right now, status 1 open mind, if I remember correctly.
That's correct.
So you know, he's very much like seeing things, like as he's like not as mad anymore, like things are kind of clearing up, and he sees some things as from Morrigan's perspective, but he also sees it as like that what she did wasn't necessarily good or should have been done that way.
Right.
He can see why she did it, and all that kind of thing. But he's like, also his open-mindedness is really coming into play. Like, what are we other people? Like, because of what Geo said earlier. And he's really having like trying to figure out what he was talking about, leprechauns, and who he was, and like how the human side was going to get taken over, and everything like that. And Johnny's really kind of dwelling on that as well as he's like leaving the dots.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny just kind of wanders into the night to his next thing, and we're going to cut back to Cal real quick as a phone call comes in. Hello?
Calvin Gannicus.
Yes, Mr. Gannicus. My name is Trevor, and I am a personal executive assistant of Mr. Harold Bjorn. Mr. Bjorn asked me to contact you about your last-minute dinner date. I just need a location.
Well, as I asked Claire, it would be great to know what kind of food he's in the mood for.
He is the kind of an individual who likes a lot of spicy, tasty food. It doesn't necessarily, there's not any particular mood, as long as the drink is good and the food is plenty. Mr. Bjorn usually feels satisfied.
How is he about honey wine?
Honey wine. He's more of an ale kind of a gentleman than he is a wine. He will drink wine when it's presented as a part of the meal, but his preference is, ales.
All right. Real quick, our internet came back.
Ooh. Want to?
Yeah, Meta and I are going to be jumping in here fairly soon.
Cool.
So just
cool.
Fair warning for the cameras. I didn't mean to interrupt the scene. The cameras are going to get messed up.
Okay.
We can take a break real quick if you want after this.
Yeah, let's finish this scene and then we'll do cameras and we'll talk while we're doing that.
Okay.
Then there is a wonderful Thai place, probably about a mile from his office, and Calvin gives him the address. And it's very, very, very good Thai food, and they know how to do it spicy properly. Normally, they don't. A place like this wouldn't serve really good beers, but they did manage to pick up a couple of really good IPAs, which are okay. But they do have one summer ale that is made by a local brewery called Tide House that is just fantastic. It is. I actually haven't finished writing up my review, so he will kind of get a sneak peek on that, I guess.
Is that TIED house?
Yes, as in the one in Mountain View.
Hey, Trent. We have the conversation after the show. I'm not joking. Okay, so Trevor's like, okay, all right, great. You said the plan is 8:30 then, so he'll meet you at this location at 8:30. Go ahead. I would suggest that you order the drinks ahead of time. It usually makes the conversation go much better.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you, and click.
He sounded cute. And so Calvin will start walking towards Tide House.
Okay.
He knows he's going to arrive early, so we'll give him time to talk to the maitre d' and tell them who's coming, get everything lined up.
Okay. All right, Sweetie, you want to go ahead and take care of the cameras?
Yeah, might as well.
Give me 1 second.
No, you don't get a second. Not a second at all.
Yep, and we can take a quick break while this happens. If anyone needs to pee or get water or whatever.
I actually need to. I have my microfiber cloth rag, the red one that I had that I was dusting my desk while we were. So I'm gonna go wash that because it's covered with dust and growth. And I'm gonna read it right now.
Nice. Ugh. How's everyone in chat doing tonight? It's good to see people here. I did not see the Tide House. I don't know what that is. I don't remember that from the previous episode. I assumed it was Tide, spelled Thaid. This is Thai food. But it looks like it's Tide, like the detergent, which is a strange way of doing things. Also, my face is over here now. Hi, what's up? I'm Calvin. This is how camera work goes. Hey, look at that. We have a Loke.
Wow. Like I just became it.
Damn it, you're in Morrigan's spot.
Oh, she's got to hang up and come back in too. So. Oh, and okay. Yeah, well, let's just wait for her to get on the call.
Yeah. We're back like this again. What up?
Hi.
I'm Calvin.
Hi.
How's the cold coming along? It's about as well as it sounds. I have been sneezing a lot. Oh, thank you, Stay Hydrated Bot. Appreciate it. It's been an hour.
Sam, I was just gonna say, Sam, I wasn't gonna talk about that on stream, but that's pretty funny.
It's Tide, a restaurant your friend's dad actually owns. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, actually, it's a really great place, and they make some amazing beers, and it's a well-known establishment in the San Jose area.
Oh, you mean in real life, not her character.
Oh, no. It's we're talking about in real life.
That's
cool. You know, her dad owns the place, so they have damn good beer too.
Your beer.
No, you're a beer.
I see. Trent is still on the surface of the sun, so that's good.
Yep. Disappointing that Bjorn doesn't like mead. But I guess
Why is that disappointing?
I mean, It's just like a thing you would think you would like. Guess it's too old and stuffy for him. Mr. Gallows probably would like it.
He would like nectar from the gods.
Ah, yes, ambrosia.
I
mean, is mead supposed to be enjoyed, or is it meant to be a ceremonial? You drink it even though it sucks, but it's a thing kind of thing.
I mean, I think you're supposed to get fucked up off of it, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, the sweetness makes it, go right to your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point, right?
I've been reading American Gods, which is one of the touchstones for this game, and it's a very good book. And in it, Odin kicks everything off by hiring the main character and making him agree to things over a cup of mead. But Odin says that he cannot stand the taste of mead.
Mr. Wednesday is very cool.
Yep.
Question.
Answer.
Where do I write improvements on the character sheet?
As you are discovering, as everybody else, it sucks.
It's on the
Roll20 character sheet sucks. You're just gonna have to note it somewhere.
All right, I got a post-it note that I'll mark.
All right,
expression improvement. Boom.
Look at that. Cameras are back in place.
Sweet. Does that mean we can cause more trouble?
Absolutely not. No trouble on this channel, sir.
Have you watched this show?
Yeah.
This is
I'm just going to say this right now. It seems like the Thursday show always has the most, inner conflict. It's kind of funny.
Our usual thing?
That's just an us thing, I think.
But I think
Might be a me thing.
even that we have all this inner conflict, we figured out a lot more than the other
That's true.
careers.
I also said this, and people were like, nah. I'm like, have you watched the show? Have you met Morrigan and Johnny and Cal and Gio?
If they'd met Cal, they'd probably know.
We get shit figured out.
Oh, that too.
Oh, now
Okay.
it's so weird having internet again.
We can knock it out again if you want.
Yeah, we can
Well,
just go back
please
to phone call.
Don't. It's so weird to not have internet. You can feel like you're missing a piece of yourself.
Oh, God, I'm Amish now.
Might have to read a book. Or,
Terrifying.
Metadiah, we need to go churn some butter.
all right, guys. Are we good to get started again?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Johnny,
Yee.
after after finishing your time at the Fight Club, where do you go next?
That's a great question. So it's about 8:30 at night.
That's correct.
I would go to
Bless you.
what would Johnny do at this moment? Johnny's hungry, but Johnny's not eating. Johnny's upset. And he probably knows he got a text message from Gio hours ago.
Hours.
So he may start walking towards Xanadu, and that may take a little bit. I'm trying to think what else he would be doing. Let's see if I have anything in my notes.
You can think about it, and I can cut to Gio and Morrigan at this point if you want to think about it. But I figured that next scene for them is going to be a big chunk of this.
Yeah. I am going to text Flickr
Okay.
as I'm walking.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Text text her in the text message thing, and also make sure that you highlight that Malcolm will probably see it.
Okay. Also, that's a Geo. That's a night. We're on night 3 right now.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's right, actually.
Yeah.
You're on Saturday, right? Is it Friday still for you?
We're
guys?
on Friday.
Okay. Then
It's
night
Friday
three, I'm
because
sorry.
today's the
I
day
started
that
with-
set up that meeting.
Right.
I started with the Batman shirt. I did to the X-Men shirt. I'm now wearing the Superman shirt. If you noticed, Johnny doesn't change shirts until the next day. So
Okay. Anyways, so go ahead and text. And alrighty.
We have a Discord channel in which we post all of our text messages, or at least as of yesterday.
Okay. So what I feel like you're texting her right now then. You want to say what you're texting on screen?
I'm saying, hello, we need to talk.
Okay.
Flicker. Literally, that's it, because he forgot. He doesn't know really her too much, so.
Okay. You get no response right away.
Yeah, he just keeps walking in the direction of Xanadu. But he's still in that weird kind of like haze with the thoughts going on and like having the mist guide him before. He kind of still feels like he's in that like limbo kind of thing. So he's just walking.
Okay, great. So we're going to cut to Morrigan and Geo driving up to the prison. It's now just after sunset, probably around 7:30. Actually, no, it's probably about 8:30, or it's still before sunset because it's going to be lighter out. It's just the summertime. As you drive up, you show your credentials. They allow you inside to the parking area around the administrative building, and standing in the front is the warden.
Yeah, Morgan gets out and kind of nods at Geo, like, I'm gonna take point real quick kind of deal. She comes up. Douglas, hi. Thank you for taking some time set aside. I'm sorry to show up so abruptly after our call.
Do you want to tell me what's going on?
So she kind of motions to Geo.
Hi.
Oh, did we discuss whether or not we were going to use your real name or not?
We didn't.
Why don't you guys figure that out right now then?
Yeah.
Take a moment as like you had a conversation about, what the cover story is. So.
Yeah, because we talked about him being like basically a witness saying he thought he saw Gephardt on the streets. And so I would say that we definitely came up with a cover name. So if you want to give me something.
Yeah.
Marcus Aurelius. No.
Lou Vincenzo.
Lou? Okay. This is Lou. The reason why he's actually here with me is because he thinks he saw your prisoner on the streets, and he was very adamant about making sure that that was not the case. So I, as you know, with the case that we dealt with Mr. Caparelli and that whole thing, I wanted to also just be sure for my own sanity. And so I just brought him to, as you said, he is there. So brought him to show Lou that he is there, and just let that. It's just been a long day.
Does Derek know what's going on? I mean, have you talked to him about this?
I talked to him earlier. Somebody was asking about Gephardt, which is why this kind of threw me a little bit for a loop. I didn't want to worry him because you said that he was, Mr. Caparelli was still incarcerated. So I just kind of wanted to get this out of the way and not raise any. Derek's got a lot going on, as you know, with the missing sisters and all that stuff that's going on in the press. And I didn't want to add one more piece of stress unnecessarily to his plate. So.
Well, so any visit to Gephardt Caparelli gets logged, and it's going to end up on his desk eventually. So I would recommend that you mention this to him, because I know that he's one of the...
but it's not going to be processed right away. I'll text him as soon as we leave and confirm that he's actually still here.
Okay, well, let's go inside. I've arranged a room for you, and I'll have him escorted in.
Great, thank you.
So he takes you into the administrative building, and kind of, at the entrance, there's a check-in station. Both of you are required to sign in, visitors' badges, and then they kind of escort you back into the depth of the building towards the back, where there is a secure section, and that's when you see the armed guards and the shotguns and the prison guards just kind of all over the place as they take you through a set of doors that have bars, and then they escort you into essentially a room with a series of stations where you can sit on one side, and there's the prisoner can sit on the other side of essentially a plexiglass kind of a screen.
Right.
It has been cleared and is empty, and there are two guards posted on the other side of the glass, one on each side of the room on that side.
Okay.
You're more than welcome to sit here. I'm going to go and make sure that the arrangements are in place. You just don't want to make sure that Gephardt has been a model prisoner so far. I don't want to trigger and cause an incident. So.
Of course.
All right. And he kind of steps out, giving you a moment to kind of collect yourself and kind of, take in the scene and the situation. Is there anything that you want to do in this case before?
I kind of look at Gio, and I use, Lou when I address him, but so that just in case anybody's overhearing. But have you ever actually met him in person at any point in time, by the way?
Gephardt? No.
Yes.
I mean, I remember the story in the papers. That's about it.
Something just doesn't feel right. I looked over my notes from the case from before, we stopped by and grabbed stuff from my office, and just everything around the circumstances of this murder, it was so just cut and dry. The evidence was so clean. And now people are digging. I don't know what to make of it. My interrogation was straightforward with him, and I don't know what to expect here. So what if he's not here? Like, what do we do?
I mean, someone's here. If it's not him, then someone in his place. And if it's not him, then they would almost certainly know something about where he is, right?
Yeah, but if it's not him, then I have a bad feeling about this.
Douglas walks back into the room and says, okay, you've got 2 minutes before he comes in. He'll be coming through those doors, to the left, and he'll be placed here by 2 guards. He will not be bound. He's, like I said, a bit of a model prisoner. Doesn't speak much. I don't know how cooperative he's going to be. He doesn't really, like I said, doesn't really talk all that much. When he does communicate, most of the time he uses a pad of paper and a pen.
Has he, if he's been a model citizen, has he made any, he's been here for about a year now, and
just over a year.
Yeah, so does he have any, I mean, I will say the word friends loosely here with the term, but does nobody
No.
from the prison?
No, he doesn't associate with anybody and nobody messes with him.
Hmm.
He spends a lot of time carving little figurines, other things out of wood.
You give him a knife?
He doesn't have a knife. He has carving tools. They're not very sharp, and it takes him a long time. Most of
Is he
his work...
supervised when he does this work?
I'm sorry, excuse me?
Is he supervised during the time that he does this work, or is he just...
No, he's not supervised. He, like I said, we made sure that the tools are not sharp, and we check the tools every single day to make sure that he is not modifying them in any way, shape, or form. We tear down his bunk weekly. We checked for contraband. As I said, he's been a model prisoner. He has not made any weapons. He has not done anything to modify the tools that he's working with. He really is just doing his time at this point.
Okay.
And so as he finishes that and you say, okay, the door kind of opens and a man in a orange jumpsuit kind of slowly makes his way and sits down in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like a clean-cut version of Gephardt. Caparelli.
Oh, no facial hair?
No.
Okay.
And he picks up the phone on the one side and he puts it to his ear.
Okay. And Morrigan does the same thing. Good evening, Master Caparelli. I don't know if you remember me. I'm Morgan Kane.
He shakes his head.
How has your time here been?
He pauses for a second, raises his other hand, and just kind of motions.
What kind of figurines have you been working on? The warden said that you've been allowed to carve here.
He puts the phone down, looks back at the warden, or looks back at the guards, points at his pocket, and slowly reaches in and pulls out and puts it on the table in front of you, in front of the plexiglass, and you can see it's a little bird.
How many of these do you have?
Picks up the phone again.
Is there something you wanted to ask Lou? I mean, she's looking at you, Gio.
Gio just kind of takes a long look at Gephardt here for a minute. And like he looks like he's about to ask something and then just closes his mouth. And at this point, I would probably like to roll something, to roll my disillusion to see through the mist.
I think this is going to be either an investigate or a change the game, and given the setting and the situation as it's currently been played, I think investigate makes more sense.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So see through the mist, reveal hidden methods, tricks of the trade.
Hold on just a second. Let me look at your character sheet real quick. Sure. Yeah, go ahead and just roll it.
Okay. That is an 8. Mild success.
Okay, so
3 clues.
you get 3 clues, but they're not going to be, clear, cut, and dry kind of a thing. So ask me 3 questions or ask me and him 3 questions. And I will give you can spend those for answers.
Okay. I'll ask you first. Even though I know the answer to this question already, is this Gephardt Caparelli?
That's not the kind of answer that you're going to get given that mild success. That's not the kind of question that you're not going to get a yes or no. You can ask me things that would help you determine whether he's really Gephardt Caparelli or not, but it's not a clear-cut yes or no given the fact that it was a mild success.
Okay. Does he have the power of a rift surrounding him?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone else have
also
any other suggestions of questions?
I was just going to say you can throw it to the table.
This is a tough one because my worry right now from a non-character perspective is given how things have been really wonky. I don't know what is visible to Morrigan and Geo in the current situation. Like in general, do things seem strange? And like for Morgan especially, does he look the same, like the same person that she questioned? You know what I mean?
Okay, so let me help you along a little bit, and don't try to overanalyze the situation with these questions. You've got 2 questions left. It's clear that there's something going on. That there is a mythos power kind of affecting him. Geo's figured that out. He looks like Gephardt Caparelli, almost to the T, except that he's clean shaven right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He looks like a normal the person, except in the thing. The things that would strike you as odd, and I would assume that this is based on your previous interview with him, is that he's not speaking. So
right.
that would definitely trigger something. That would trigger a red flag for you in that way, right? So.
Okay, so we could ask perhaps, why is he not speaking, or is he able to speak?
Why is better because it's open-ended, and he could just nod his head or shake his head if we just gave him yes or no questions.
Yeah.
You could always ask him for verbal confirmation.
Yeah.
With the question, like state a question and be like, and we need verbal confirmation.
I have a question that I'm going to ask him, but it's going to be a different role.
Okay.
What would that be?
I'm going to use some of my stuff. I'm under the impression that he should still feel guilty about what happened. If I try to sense his guilt and there's no guilt there, then something's wrong. So. Oh, you're muted, Tren. You have something.
Tren is yelling. All we just see.
I was as soon as you said that, I was like, because the question that was in my head was, so are you sorry for what you did?
Yeah.
You
can definitely ask that, Geo, though. Like, Geo can definitely.
Yeah.
And then I can use.
Time out. I got a very quick question, because you did mention that you spoke to Greg this morning about what you would know from that previous interview, and we still need to have that conversation sort of happen somewhere.
Yeah.
Did he give you any insight into whether he felt guilty for the murder of his family in that interview? Because I think that's an important contextual piece to what you're eventually planning to answer.
Yeah.
Or what you're planning to ask. So
there was a guilt there, but Morrigan was unable to pinpoint what the guilt was about, if it was him doing it or that it happened, or like that kind of thing.
Okay, that was going to be my assumption about where to go with it, but I just wanted to make sure based on the fact that you guys had a conversation.
Yeah, so there was definitely no like admission of guilt kind of deal. In fact, he was adamant that he didn't perform the crime during all interviews. And then when it became evident that nobody was there to really listen to what he had to say, that's when he kind of turned to work on what is now in place of him.
Okay.
So that's per Greg through our messages this morning.
Okay, great. All right, Gio, do you have a second question that you want to ask? Or sorry, Lou, does Lou have a second question you want to ask?
You got a problem with the name Lou? It's a good name.
Did you say his last name was?
Vincenzo.
Lou Bega, Mambo number 5.
I heard Albano. I heard Albano, and I started getting really sad.
Oh.
I don't know
Okay.
who it is.
See? Him too.
I would say something maybe like poke at the like the guilt factor of some kind. Like, does he feel sorry? Does he, like that kind of thing?
If you're going to continue doing the sense guilt thing, it might be better to leave that to you, and I'll ask. Is there a reason you're not feeling particularly talkative today?
He leans into the phone and says, "No."
That was a pretty good impression.
I did it just for Sam. Sam wasn't full in chat. Wanted me to do something. I was like, I gotta do one at least. But
Who was only ever taught yes and no.
And does it sound like Gephardt to Morrigan, I suppose? Is that
it would sound like that part. That is not a question that she would need to spend on this, or that. Yes, it would sound. The timbre and resonance, the everything about it would be, especially through the phone.
I was going to say, especially through those shitty prison phones.
Through the shitty prison phone, it does sound like Gephardt Caparelli. You have one more question left.
If you were walking through a desert and you saw a tortoise laying on its back, what would you do?
What's a tortoise?
You know what a turtle is?
Yeah. Better humor. Okay, so you got one more question.
I could. Would asking if he's been outside give me any sort of information, or would it just be another no, really?
What do you mean by that? Like, that's the kind of thing that sounds like almost an interesting thing to learn. But what do you mean by, like, what is the intent behind that question?
I mean, the intent is to kind of figure out why he's been seen on the outside when he's been in here.
So when you ask him that question, you're trying to find out if this person in front of you that looks like Gephardt Caparelli has been outside of the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is that how you want to spend your third question? Your third clue here. I mean, I will again poke you with, don't overthink this. You already have something really relevant and interesting out of this that you might want to play.
Can I make a suggestion? I mean, this is
Sure.
50 meta stuff, but you should phrase the question very specifically. Has Gephardt Caparelli been outside the walls of this prison recently?
Yeah. I was gonna say that.
Is that your question?
Yeah. So, I don't think we've met before, but I've heard some people saying they've seen you outside. Has Mr. Gephardt Caparelli been outside of these walls anytime lately?
He leans into the phone and says, I'm Gephardt Caparelli. But he's lying. Those are your 3 clues.
Yep.
Gio just kind of gives a knowing look to Morrigan.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do my thing here, I think. I'm trying to think how I want to phrase this question.
It was a decent Gephardt.
Oh, dude, no! I wish you guys had Malaysian cork. God damn it!
Have you had any experience with Malaysian cork lately?
And he just suddenly attacks the plexiglass.
Should just start playing Kenny Loggins through the mic and like see if he reacts.
The 80s on 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna
What's your
try to
favorite radio
sense
station?
this. I'm gonna try to sense his like I'm gonna try to get actual emotion out of him because we haven't seen any emotional response of any kind really.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna go with an investigate here, I think.
Okay.
Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I guess I have to. I don't think there's anything else that really applies.
Oh,
in
I'm
the
glad
moves.
Calvin is not there for this.
Just out of curiosity, why are you glad Calvin's not there?
Because this is the point where he would probably lean in to the phone and say, I'm sure your family deserved to die.
Oh, just you wait now.
And lean back just to see what would happen.
Just wait. Yeah, so okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use.
You're thinking too much alike, lady.
I know. That's why Cal actually hates Morrigan, because he would do the same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna use sense guilt, no desire on this, and as well as psychoanalysis and psychology. And I'm gonna get a feel for my first question will be like, as I'm doing this to get a response, is actually going to be if this would actually click through, that'd be nice. So I'll kind of like look at him and actually I'm gonna say, your daughters would have been 16 this year.
Can I suggest a weakness tag? You're apathetic?
I'm not, though. I'm actually very invested in this right now.
Are you? Okay. You are invested in this. Okay. All right. That is an important
That's the only
distinction.
reason why I didn't take it. Otherwise, I would have. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Roll it.
Okay. Oh, I got to click the things. Hold on. 1, 2. No positive or negative effects. Let's see if this actually works today. Investigate.
So 5.
Sweet.
Oh no, sorry, it's 4 because it's not.
4.
It's not not change the game. It's
It's a 1-to-1.
Yeah, it's a 1-to-1. So 4 questions, 4 answers.
Cool.
Your first question is.
My first question is, what are you?
That's a long. Oh, okay. Well, since you got a great success. Shit.
I know there's something wrong. Like, let me ask this. So I did this investigate, right? Was there any emotional like response, or that can be one of my questions, but was there an emotional response when I brought up his daughters, like specifically, and like implying that if he hadn't killed them, they would have just celebrated their birthday kind of deal?
Yes, there was an emotional response.
Okay. Was it?
It felt, or it looked, and I'm using this particular description very specifically, it felt wooden. But you saw that his eyes widened, and you saw a measured increase in the motion of him breathing.
Interesting. Okay.
There was a response, but it did not feel natural.
Right. Yeah, that's why I would follow up with, what are you?
He leans into the phone. I am Gephardt Caparelli. And he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way that he's lying, there's also something you can tell about his voice as you're investigating this.
Okay.
Your second clue is there's something off about his voice. It almost sounds mechanical when he's speaking. It's like a staccato. It's like a machine or something actually kind of doing it. It doesn't flow like the normal form of conversation.
Too rhythmic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
a recording.
Like a Rolling Stone?
That was good. Okay.
Well,
Shit.
Papa was a Rolling Stone. Sorry.
All right. I'm sorry. Let's continue.
God, this is so tough because I can't.
Don't overthink it. You can ask questions that aren't necessarily an interview with him. You can ask more of a description from him. That's kind of what I was prompting Gio to do, since it's part of his ability is that he sees through illusions.
Mm-hmm.
So Gio can. I'm gonna throw this out that you should probably, if you're having trouble reaching for a question, throw it to the table, and maybe there's some description that you can get from this, and we'll call it a combination of the investigation, like the investigation rolls.
I would ask, so for a description, being like, if he seems very mechanical, look deep into his eye, and is what can you see? Like, eyes are the windows to the soul. And technically, that could be windows to the rift, So would you be able to see if it's like deadless, or does the eye look fake? Or like, can you not see anything or sense anything from when you're looking at them? Like a doll.
Yeah, I know, except for that, I feel like that would be pretty obvious by looking at it, not a question. Like,
remember, this is an illusion. The mist is supporting this a little bit, and actually the prison is in one of those interesting places where the mist works incredibly well.
Old quarter?
It's not in the old core, but it's on the edge of the city. It's,
okay.
On the outskirts of the city, and it's one of the, so metagame wise, just because we talked about this, the mist is not working as expected, and so it's having harder in certain places. A prison is one of those places where it would probably be working overtime.
Yeah.
So it may not be necessarily obvious, especially given how good Gephardt Caparelli's abilities are to create these automatons.
So, I kind of want to be like, what color are your eyes? Like, to see if it's aware of itself. Like, I don't know if it's programmatic, like it's not creating its own words, or is it creating its own words from a set grouping of vocabulary? Like, I just don't. I don't know.
Do wooden dolls dream of log sheep?
What?
We don't know.
I'm terrible at all this. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I guess just like from a visual perspective, or like, I mean, she got the sense that things that he looks in some, or like his emotions are very like mechanical. Can it be extended to say that we are certain that he is a mechanical construct, or can that be a further question?
can it be extended so that you ask that as your question? So if you take the time, so if you ask the question, does he seem mechanical in his movements? That would be one of those things where it's like, if you pay it, you sit back, you're noticing these things about him, you pay attention, you see his movements, they are definitely not smooth. They are not natural. There is an uncanny rhythm, like specific control to his movements. As he's kind of moving up, it's moving the phone to his hand. You will remember that when he did it, it wasn't a smooth. It was a little bit more jerky, a little bit more mechanical. So if that's your third question, then yes, absolutely, you would notice more things as you begin to kind of put this together, that there is something clearly off and artificial about him.
And probably the second time or third time he put the phone, it would probably be exactly the same movement.
Exactly.
Right.
Another question you could ask is, what guilt do you sense from him? Because you're able to see people's guilt, aren't you?
Well, yeah, that's what I was alluding to before.
That's a
Is that another question? Okay, I guess.
Sure.
You
don't sense any guilt from him at all.
Yeah.
In fact, you don't sense any guilt from him about anything.
No desires either, I'm guessing. Guilt or desire.
You don't sense any emotional response from him in either light or dark.
Yeah, so his actual, quote, emotional response was mechanically driven. It wasn't actual human, as we discussed, just not a few minutes prior. Yeah.
There isn't even a sense of desperation of,
right.
I not allow myself to be found out.
Mm-hmm.
It's programmed.
Okay. How many questions is that?
One.
We'll call it 3. You've got one more.
I think that tells us pretty much everything we can know from this. The only thing I really want to know is, like, where is the real Gephardt, but I don't think we could get that from him.
No, but similarly, the question that keeps coming back into my mind is more statement than question.
Yeah.
It starts with a statement, but it ends with a question, which is, the next time you talk to Gephardt Caparelli, could you tell him we're coming to find him? And that would be the question that...
I don't think he actually communicates with him.
I figure that's what the birds are for.
But Morrigan wouldn't know that.
I know.
Yeah. I want to know if he's had any visitors, like from the warden. Can I use my clue for that? Because Gephardt's not going to say it. He's not going to give me anything useful on that front.
So using that as your fourth question, yes, he has had one visitor kind of in and out, and that would be his lawyer. And only his lawyer.
I would have known who his lawyer is from the case.
That's correct.
Okay. So only his lawyer.
We'll coordinate with Greg to figure out more details about the lawyer, because I think that's an important.
His name is Billy Bob Boynton. He's a television lawyer. Find him.
And Trent just volunteered to play him.
Nice.
His mythos is Bugs Bunny.
I think that technically we're in violation of the attorney thing that Gephardt had set up, but that's okay.
That's fine.
Well, this is technically a favor to you.
I know. Oh, I know.
So there is a fair bit of hand waving that's going on, but it's definitely going to.
And who's he going to tell? How's he going to sign? Hey, this lady came by and started asking me questions.
I am Gephardt Caparelli. I like 80s music and making dolls.
That sounded creepier than Greg. Just gonna say that now. All right, so
you're welcome.
He's just kind of regarding you, and you hear from Douglas as he kind of steps in. You got 5 minutes. I can't keep him out much longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think we're done here. Unless, Lou, do you want to ask any more questions?
No. I think we know all we need to.
Well, I guess at least Lou can be, his mind can be eased that Gephardt's still here, and I can go home finally for the day.
Strangest thing, it looks exactly the same. I must have been imagining things.
I mean, maybe there's somebody out there that just kind of looks like him. I don't know.
I've been watching too many crime dramas, that's all.
Yeah. Douglas, I'm sorry to have bothered you. I really appreciate you doing this. I know it's not a convenient thing, given the high profile of this case. If you need anything, just let me know.
So you're saying this in front of the interview spot, in front of?
Well, like I stepped away from the window.
Okay, so
like
as
you phone down. Yeah.
Okay, you put the phone down. He puts the phone down. He raises his hands like this, reaches down to pick up his little bird, and drops it in his pocket. Right, and so you're kind of you're talking to Douglas, and you're kind of just noticing that he's moved, and then he stands up, and again, as he stands up, his motions are incredibly precise, clinical, mechanical. But you can see that he's clearly regarding the both of you. Like he is, his eyes are moving back and forth, taking in your face.
Right.
And he slowly turns and lets the guards lead him out of the room.
I'll be going now.
I did not kill my family.
Welcome to Freddy's Pizza Parlor. Are you the new night security guard? I'll be seeing you later.
Is
And
this
so when
Duran? This is my jam.
Okay, shush.
You're starting to engage with Douglas, he says, "Don't worry about it. I just want you to know I left this off the books. There was no recording going on at this point. However, Derek is going to get some word about.
I'll let
this.
him know.
All right. So you just want to make sure the next time Morgan, I'm going to have to ask you to go through official channels, just because it's this is a high profile person. Prisoner. Somebody's gonna notice eventually. So we need to do the proper channels next time. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry. I don't think we'll be coming back about this one.
Okay. All right. Well, let me escort you out, and he walks you through, the hallways back to the front of the administration building, and says his goodbyes at the front door.
All right. And I'm back in our vehicle. I'm going to text Derek. I'll write it in the Discord, but I'm basically going to text him, "Hey, I had a patient who thought they saw, Gephardt, and they were having some serious anxiety. So I went to the prison just to show that he was still there, and then we left." Like kind of very clinical, like treating a patient's problem kind of deal.
Okay. All right. So
you want to talk about that for a minute? That was not Gephardt.
No, there's something very wrong here. I mean, I know that there are people with abilities. I didn't get that sense from him when we were interviewing and interrogating him during the case, but that wasn't my focus at all. And
there's no question that there's some sort of ability in play here, but it's not him. He didn't even seem human.
Now the question is whether or not this is going to be a problem. I can't tell Derek that I don't think that this is what am I supposed to say to him?
I don't know. You don't really have to say anything, right? I mean, investigate on your own time. And
I don't think it's going to be that easy. This woman keeps asking about Gephardt's case. If Derek gets pulled into it, he's going to find out.
Right. And I'm sorry for if this sounds rude at all, but why does that matter?
Derek's just, not like us. And I don't have based on how the murders took place and the ritualistic fashion, I'm really worried about if we do put the wrong person behind bars, so to speak, that whoever is responsible, if they find out that Derek is digging with whoever else is, that they're going to end up dead.
So you actually care about Derek then?
We have a very long history.
I told you there was a body that was still human.
I didn't say I wasn't human, just mostly not.
Right. Well, as much as this has been interesting, and as much as I know you want to work on this, I still really want to get to the bottom of why we're getting dragged into this investigation in the first place. Why everything with the sisters is happening.
No, I agree. I think that's a little bit more pressing, but I need to keep a pulse on now this other thing. Oh shit, what time is it? What time is it now? In
It
game?
would probably be about 8:30.
Okay.
Okay.
I remember that note I left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to get cross town to that restaurant, that Cajun place. I am kind of hungry anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if what Johnny said is true, she's not going to show up, but it's
Probably
worth
not.
stopping by.
Yeah.
I haven't had good Cajun food in ever, actually.
Well, Cal said it was good, according to his review, so.
Yeah,
If there's one thing that man knows is good food and drink.
it's true. Did Johnny respond to my text at all, by the way?
No.
I'm gonna call Johnny real quick. Because I want to make sure he didn't get kidnapped or something.
Oh, yeah, good point. That would be bad.
So it's like 8:30. I call Johnny. Ring ring.
I imagine I'm walking towards Xanadu at this point.
Yeah.
Is that okay? I was looking at Johnny for confirmation.
Sorry, I'm okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my phone rings. I'd be like, yeah.
Johnny, everything okay?
Yeah.
Where are you? Did you get my text?
Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm walking towards Xanadu
Why?
because I'm gonna talk to Mr. Gallows.
Johnny, you shouldn't be out right now. There's people looking for you.
Why are they looking for me?
Someone at the bar saw what you could do, and...
Then let them come find me, okay?
Johnny, no, we can't just let them do that, alright? I know you're strong, but, this guy, trust me, not to be messed with.
Fine, but I'm gonna go home then. But we all meet at the R&R diner in the blue collar district in the morning, 9 a.m. sharp.
Okay, that works.
Okay.
I'll,
Saturday at 9 a.m.
He's like, bye. And he like hangs up.
Is he okay?
Yeah, seems like it. He was going to Xanadu, but I convinced him to turn around, I think.
Okay.
Said he's going home. I hope he's
I think
telling the
he
truth.
hates me.
There's a good chance, but
I know Cal hates me.
there's a good chance.
I'm not good at making friends, Gio. I don't know what that is all about, but that's tough. As they're like just driving, Morrigan's kind of just partial thoughts coming out of her head.
It's not that you're bad at making friends, it's that the crow is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, some part of you seems to like people. Imagine
I mean,
that's why you're a
I'm a
doctor.
therapist, so yeah. Just slight conflicts of interest, I guess.
Yeah, I get that. It's rough when something inside of you is telling you to do something different.
I mean, it makes sense when she tells me. Totally logical.
Wait, she talks to you?
Yeah, they all do.
All?
Yeah, all of them. You know, there's more than one of these up here. You know that, right?
I didn't quite get that. And the fact that she talks to you directly isn't something I've heard of before.
It's just, I'm not alone, but I'm alone kind of deal.
Yeah, I get you. But, I mean, you're a therapist, I don't have to tell you. You should know. It's...
Yeah. You know, there's not a lot of people that know about these types of things and then are also therapists. So, you know, professional practice says I should probably not give myself therapy. So, yeah.
True.
So if you can find me, somebody like me to help me, that'd be great. Until then, yeah, I'm on my own on that one.
I mean, I don't know anyone professionally trained, but I'm a good listener.
Obviously, since apparently I have just randomness to talk to you about things that I shouldn't be saying at all. So, yeah.
I appreciate it. Your trust does mean a lot.
I don't know why I'm trusting you at all. But I guess since you didn't completely turn your back on me, maybe that's why.
It's because I can see that it's not all of you that's doing this.
She's getting there. Definitely.
Alright.
Yeah, so we do you need anything from your place before late dinner?
No.
Okay. Cool. We're gonna go to the Cajun place.
Okay, by you.
One.
The old quarter. The okay by you.
Okay, we're gonna cut to the Tide House.
If it's 8:30, Trent got it, or Cal got a text.
Cal got a text.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's just the thing that we said earlier.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's a bit of a clincher moment there for a second, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, oh no, he's still going to Xanadu, and he wants Cal there.
I
and
burned down your
everyone's gonna die.
Drinks.
My olive oil. My artisanal olive oil, you fucking prick. And then find you and kill you.
So, describe the Tide House to us, Cal.
Tide House, while if you go to the one in Mountain View, is not a Thai restaurant. In this particular city, it is. And it has slightly better than a bowling alley diner look to it. In the front, anyway.
Okay.
In the back, where there are kind of private dining halls, are considerably more high quality and are more lush and lavish in their design, and it's very, very heavy Thai decor all over the place. When you get within half a block of the place, you can smell it, and it smells amazing. They have a very good rating for a reason, and the food is phenomenal, and it ranges from white guy Thai spicy to Thai guy Thai spicy. And if you are a white guy Thai spicy person who thinks you got the balls to take Thai guy Thai spicy, you are fucking wrong. It's the sort of thing where you order your Tom Kha Gai soup Thai spicy, you take one spoonful of it, and your face immediately flushes red, and you're like, oh, and you're looking for your Thai iced tea, and you can't find it because the tears are welling up, and like all you can see is the person across from you, the top half of their face is clear, and everything underneath that is just, it's very, very good. But even the non-spicy stuff is not only spicy, but it has a tremendously detailed flavor. And if you have the palate to sit there and dissect it, it is an incredible adventure to be able to enjoy. It's great. It's wonderful.
Seriously, Trent, I'm fucking hungry right now. Stop.
I am too. That's why I'm doing this.
That doesn't help.
I really want Thai food now. There's a place near me called Solid Thai that does, oh my God, they do such a great job.
I might just order Thai food right now.
Go ahead. Just make sure you get enough for the whole group.
Yeah, seriously.
I'll give you my address. Just have them deliver here. So yeah, and Ty, no, Calvin has that'll be my next character's name. That was Ty, Tyrone. Anyway, he gets there, and he, of course, he knows the owner and the chef, and which is the same person. And the hostess is the same hostess that was there when he did his review, which they didn't know he was doing, which is how he tends to do things. You know, he makes sure that they don't know that he's coming, so that he gets the average person's thing. Because if they know there's a food reviewer who's going to be there, they spend the extra time and effort to make sure it's a great thing, and that's not a genuine review. So he makes damn sure that he's there kind of incognito. But once he does the review, then so he knows them. And so he makes sure to let them know who is going to be joining him for dinner, and could they please have one of the rooms in back if they're available.
Okay. And so as you enter in and you explain this, yeah, no problem. Come on, let's go ahead and have you come on back. Do you want to order any appetizers to start? Drinks?
Definitely drinks. How many different ales do you have this week?
We've got 4 on tap and about another 6 in bottle.
All right. Let's start with the least good of the on tap ones. Start with one of those. The big growler mugs that you guys have, one of those each.
Okay.
And then starting from the worst of the bottles, 2 of each of those in Pilsners. We'll just line them up like a flight of Reds.
Okay. And so they escort you back, and they give you one of the larger rooms because they know who you are, right? And so you get more of a private space. Do you want to leave some information about who will be meeting you here? Do you want to?
That's why I told them who was coming, who was joining me.
Okay. All right. So they just okay, and then they place you, and 8:30 rolls around. He's not there. You get a text from Trevor. He's running a few minutes late. He'll be there shortly.
No problem.
8:45 rolls around. Another text. A little bit later. Sorry, he should be there about 9. 9:01 rolls around. You're expecting another text when the door opens, and you see him stroll in, immaculately dressed. Hair a little disheveled, but otherwise he looks the presence of A-tier industry CEO Bjorn, flanked by 2 quite large, sort of bodyguard type guys, and they kind of step back to the door and just kind of hang there as he sits down and he says, "Harold Bjorn, it's a pleasure to meet you."
Calvin Gannick is Mr. Bjorn. Nice to meet you too.
Wow, I'm kind of impressed. I'm a little bit of a fan. I didn't realize I was on your radar for having dinner. I understand that having dinner with you is an absolute pleasure.
It can be, most definitely. Hopefully it will be. It's always the intended outcome.
Are these the drinks for? Do we? And he reaches
That
for the
set
glass.
is for you to start with. I would recommend starting with the Pilsner glass on your right and work your way across. The one that's in the big growler mug, that is the one from the tap, which is the worst of the ones that we will be sampling tonight. The 4 in question should be quite good, but I want to have them step up in quality as we go.
Ah, okay. And he immediately downs the Pilsner and makes his way and gets to the growler before he says, "Well, what do you recommend for dinner? I'm famished."
Trevor mentioned that you have a liking for spicy food, correct?
I have traveled the city far and wide, and the big world out there, and I have tasted many things. I'm always looking for something to challenge my taste buds.
Then in this particular case, I would very strongly recommend that we get the family-sized bowl of the tom kha gai soup, which would be a nice spicy chicken coconut milk soup, which is delightful. And then I would recommend the massaman curry and get them both Thai spicy properly. Well, if I order them Thai spicy, they know what I mean. So
I'm in your capable hands when it comes to our dining pleasure. So please order what you like. Dinner is on me, though.
well, that's unnecessary, sir. But
It is a pleasure to be in your presence, Mr. Gannikis.
then Calvin, please.
Please call me Harold. And he raises the growler, glass and begins to drink. And he drinks half of it down before he places it back down. So now
I saw him drinking at the party. I know what he can put away.
I understand that you are asking about someone I want to make my protege. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you know that young man?
Young Master Johnny, yes, the strapping young Johnny. Well, the
word, yes.
Yes, I know. I believe I heard you call him that at the gala, which was also the first time I met him. I believe that was also when you met him first. Well, we have through random coincidence been hanging out somewhat off and on, and to say that he is an impressive young man, far beyond the scope of what. Sorry, it just sounded like a Chinook is flying over my house. That's just the beat of those chopper blades is just a little too deep to be not a military helicopter. Sorry. Anyway,
It's all good.
So perhaps a bit beyond what one would expect from his appearance. The reason that I asked you to meet me, to be blunt, is that on occasion he will confide in us things that he's seeking the advice of adults on that perhaps he doesn't feel like he can. He mentioned the fact that you had some intention of making him your protege, and that I believe the specific phrasing that he chose was a world made better for people like us.
You see his jolly demeanor diminish a little bit as he picks up the stein and finishes off. And he says, "Another!" And he slams it down. Johnny may have misspoke. My intention was, to encourage the lad to come work for me. What are you getting at, Mr. Gannicus?
Since we're back on surnames again.
Well, clearly you have what you think is a situation that you are concerned about, and there is an accusation in there, sir.
Please allow me to clarify. It is not an accusation. It is ultimately more of a query. I take great interest in that particular phrasing, given people like us. And so while my talents may not range where Johnny's do, I do have talents aplenty of my own. And I, if he did not misspeak, could potentially be quite interested in not necessarily being a protege, but seeing to it that perhaps things go a little easier for people like us.
I feel like there's a convince roll in there somewhere.
I hope so. So, I'm going to use charming. I'm going to use I can tell you like me.
Okay.
Entourage does not affect me, so I won't be using that.
Nope.
I don't think ruggedly handsome could play into this, but I mean, if Johnny can be strapping, I can be ruggedly handsome.
Okay.
And I'm feeling like my own type of eccentric may play into this.
Okay. Do you feel that any of your weaknesses come into play here?
The only one that seems like it could is getting lost in the moment.
Okay, because this is an incredibly bold thing that you're doing here. Getting lost in the moment, does that tend to apply in a situation where you're maybe overconfident? That seems to be the way you're coming off right now.
Potentially, because he just starts rolling with what's going, and when it feels like he's finally getting across what he's trying to explain, he just starts barreling and forgets to pace himself.
Okay, perfect then.
All right, then. A conveyance. Anything else? No. Okay. Great.
Son of a bitch. All right. Do you want to extend him a status, or a status of effect of some kind to continue this conversation, or do you want to adapt his agenda basically to include you?
I'm leaning more towards adapting his agenda to include me.
Okay. So he regards you as the next round of drinks comes up. Is it another? Did you leave instructions for this next round of drinks? Just out of curiosity.
Yes. If he were to request more, we would move up. Unless he specifically requested another of these. If it's another beer, then it's the next one in the flight. But if he specifically says, I like this one, I want another one, then we're going to bring that.
Okay, so the next one in the flight comes up, and it's in the same proper, and he regards you as it arrives. He looks down at it.
It's a dark nut brown ale, by the way.
Drinks it completely down, just kind of, and he says, another please, and he places it down. And regards you after that, and he says, your skills, Mr. Sorry. You want to be friends? You want to Mr. Cal. And you see his demeanor just kind of begin to relax a little bit. And you can see that his skin is a little bit more flush because of the alcohol is slowly beginning to make an effect on him. And he kind of leans back. And as he leans back, don't get excited, Cal. His top button on his shirt, he kind of loosens the tie in the top button, and you can see that he's wearing a necklace under there. Now, Cal, how do you think your skills can benefit us in a better world?
Well, I will resist the urge to describe in detail my more carnal talents, but I will say they are considerable.
My sister, and he kind of shakes his head, pays attention to such paltry things as the rumor mill, the gossip columns, and I would say that she has regaled me with a tale or two about your exploits as it's been told among the social circles. You have quite a reputation, sir. As the next drink arrives, he takes a sip from it. But that's not what I'm asking.
Which is why I said I wasn't going to go into details about those. You know what you need to know about them to sufficient levels. Let's move on. One of the reasons that I am so good at this sort of thing is that my palate is especially refined, far more so than perhaps the vast majority of people who claim to have a refined palate. But it's not just the palate. All of my senses are substantially higher than most. In addition, as you may have noticed, I can be persuasive under the proper circumstances. Unusually so.
Now it's interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I am not much for fighting. I will admit that freely and openly. But in more interpersonal arenas, that is where I shine. And even on less carnal measures, I am also a very good teacher.
He leans back, sort of, puts his arm
And
over
Cal
his chair.
finishes the first one, downs the second Pilsner, and then just gets half of the third one down.
And he starts to drink from the third of the flight. Again, a sip this time, or a gulp, not half. He says, I do have an opening that might just work out. My sister, she was my go-to person in social situations. As of late, she and I have not seen eye to eye, and I have an opening. I'll tell you what. Let's finish this meal. See how much you can charm me this evening. I have a meeting tomorrow night.
Sorry, go ahead.
I have a meeting tomorrow evening that's quite important to me. If you can charm me tonight, that will convince me that there may be an opportunity tomorrow for you to attend this meeting with me and charm my friends. And if you can charm my friends, and the job is yours. But
Then
I just want to be very clear, Cal. I do not like to be disappointed, and I don't like surprises. Trickery is not something that I want used on me, and my sister is quite, and he kind of, stretches and just cracks his neck. I can get quite physically aggressive when someone is trying to mock me or trick me. Do we understand each other?
I would expect no less.
Excellent. And he grabs the drink, downs it completely, says another, as the first appetizers begin to arrive for the food.
If your gentleman will allow, and thereby you, may I recommend that we change positions?
What are you implying, sir?
That I sit there beside you instead of at the other end of the table.
I see no harm in it.
And
And
so Cal moves all of his stuff over.
no, he does not smash the
Are
glass.
Are they sitting in a booth or are they sitting at a table?
No,
They're sitting at a table.
It's a dining
Okay.
table, a private dining.
Okay.
Like three chairs long, chairs at either end. So he's moving kitty cornered, so they're sitting next to each other.
So it's as you get closer, and he kind of shifts a little bit and shifts to the side. The shirt opens up a little bit more, and you see that on the necklace at the end is a medallion, and it is a hammer. Well, let us begin. Show me a good time, Mr. Gannicus.
And right about then, the skewers of chicken satay come in.
And we're going to cut to Johnny. Johnny, where is Johnny right now? Is he still walking to Xanadu?
No. He's walking home.
He's not walking to Xanadu? Okay.
No, he's not walking to Xanadu because he's like he listened to Geo, and he's like he went home. And like when he heard that like were people watching him, he like looked around to see if anyone was following him, but and didn't notice anything. So he just kind of like made his way home. And he's gonna go recover from the last activity, and that was the effect that Morrigan threw at him. If I'm able to, and like call it a night. And so he's gonna meet everyone at the diner in the morning.
Okay, so that would be another montage. Let me ask you this question: does the rest of the group want to do anything else on this evening of night 3?
I just want to know if we get stood up by this cryptic letter that I left.
Okay. So that I know your intent was to go there. I didn't realize that. Okay, yeah, all right. So
I thought I have a feeling that we would not see anybody, but I figured I had to at least do something about it since it was mentioned before.
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna cut to the restaurant. It's kind of dead there on a Friday night. It seems a little odd that it's very dead there. But
Okay.
there are a couple of couples there. There are some other patrons. There's one large group sort of off in the back, but the restaurant is mostly dead. The food smells wonderful. Do you sit down inside to just kind of wait, or do you?
Oh
You
yeah,
wait
yeah.
out.
We're getting food to be not conspicuous.
Yeah. Try and get like a table where we can kind of see like
Yeah.
everywhere inside.
And I get whatever Cal had mentioned in his magazine or the article column of like the recommended dishes. I get those.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so you order them, they come. No one really kind of strikes you out of the ordinary as you're kind of sitting there. The waiter that is serving you, though, clearly is paying a little bit more attention to you than just, it kind of strikes you both as odd. He's very curious. He's always seems to be lingering. What is the conversation that you guys have as you're kind of hanging out there waiting for this particular person to show up?
Great question. What would we talk about? I feel like we wouldn't talk openly about the case because public setting, but maybe
it's so there might be a false sense of security there because again the restaurant is mostly empty.
I see.
So you would be because of where you asked to be kind of positioned, you would have a little bit more privacy, but you notice based on that still that your waiter's
yeah.
coming.
I would think I actually would try to get to know Gio more. Like, you know, why did you become a bartender kind of deal? Like that kind of general line of inquiry.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, I wasn't always a bartender at the Queen of Hearts. I used to deal cards at the table.
Why the switch?
I started to learn more about who I was, about whatever's inside me, and whoever that is won too much.
So was that story earlier about that person, or was it really about you?
That was him. That was all Mulligan, 100%. But
similarities, though.
Yeah, we got stuff in common. I mean, the lucky tend towards halls of luck, I suppose.
That's fair.
But yeah, I had a bit of a wake-up call and realized that maybe the house shouldn't always win. I mean, at bars, I'm still taking people's money, but at least they're choosing it, and they're not leaving it up to fate.
I've never been a gambling person myself.
That's smart. Seen a lot of people lose more than they bargained for.
Yeah, people still lose more than they bargain for anyway. You don't have to play cards for that.
True.
That waiter continues to loiter in a way that just kind of makes you uncomfortable.
Does it seem like they're like waiting for someone else to arrive, or that they are like trying to like eavesdrop?
Eavesdrop. They're paying way too much attention to the tables around you, even though nobody's around. I mean, nobody is like sitting right next to that kind of thing.
What does this person look like?
Tall, early 20s, you know, sort of dark complexion, dark hair. He's just, you know, he's an incredibly good waiter. He just seems to be spending way too much time kind of loitering.
Could I, like, try and sense if he's a rift?
Sure. Do you want to roll and investigate?
Sure.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tell
Just,
us
like,
already,
tell me.
guys.
Alright, so reveal hidden methods, see through the mist, tricks of the trade.
Sure.
Cool. Roll it. Great success.
Ask me a question.
Alright, so, well, first off, is he a rift?
Ask me a better way to ask me that question in a better way, because
Okay.
It's a straight yes or no, and it's like
Okay, when I look at him and I'm seeing through the mist, what is it that I see? When I try and peel back that veil.
you don't see that he's You don't see anything specific about him that's a mythos. You don't see the energy of the myth. You don't see the energy of a mythos.
Okay.
He's clearly a vapor. However, he has been touched by someone who has. Like, you can see an item, a bracelet on him, on his left arm.
Okay. I'll point that out to Morrigan in kind of a hushed tone when he's not looking.
Does there any like distinctive marks, or is it just like a plain bracelet, or is that a question? That might be a question.
I can describe the bracelet for you for a question.
Up to you, Gio. Those are your clues.
Yeah, I'll throw out what does the bracelet look like.
Yeah,
actually,
symbol or anything like that.
I could just straight up ask him about his bracelet.
Well, that would still be a question.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll wait for him to come to the table for just like to refill our drinks or whatever, and as he does, just say, "That's a really interesting bracelet you got there. Where'd you get it?"
This, and he tries to hide it, but as he's trying to hide it, it kind of glints in the light, and you can see that it is a gold band of some kind, a thick gold band, and on it are some runes sort of written across. It's really not nothing. I shouldn't be wearing it at work, and he begins to kind of take it off from his pockets. Do you guys need water or anything else? And Gio, as you're kind of looking at this, it is resonating. It's not a relic, but it's resonating as very much with Rift energy, mythos energy. You can see it sort of like almost emanating from his pocket, even though it's in his pocket. It's like, water, you need drinks, let me go get you some more drinks. And he hurriedly moves away.
Well then, I'm a little bit worried that my note, actually reached somebody now.
Yeah, that's certainly seeming like a possibility.
Do you think you could, like, I don't know, swipe it out of his pocket? I don't know. You seem like you got skills with your hands, so maybe I'm leaping in my assumptions here, Gio.
I got some tricks up my sleeve. That would be a separate roll, though, right?
Yeah, no. I'm just kind of nodding at the idea while the waiter is not loitering around us now.
What should our third question be? The other thing I would throw out there is maybe straight up asking him about Trixie.
I mean, we could ask, maybe like, what? Oh, he's showing off his dice.
Oh.
Something
Don't
along.
pay attention to me right now.
Yeah, I thought you were trying to like help us by signaling us with something. Like,
No, I just realized. So somehow the chroma key is working on my.
Feed. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right.
Wait, are we supposed to pay attention to you now? Because you just said not to.
Oh, I see that now.
Don't worry about it.
That's so weird.
I'm not bored, Johnny. It was someone said it in chat. It caught me off guard. I'm sorry. I apologize for it in the scene. I'm a terrible role player. Bye.
Yeah, you suck.
It's okay. The waiter is taking his time. He's making a mint julep. It takes a long time to muddle the mint. It's fine.
Anyway, third question. What were you gonna say? I thought you were gonna say something. Like ask him outright about Trixie.
Yeah. That's kind of the only other thing I can think of.
I have an idea, Gio. I can only go from picture references, but I could excuse myself, go around back, and then enter back in as Trixie and sit down
That would be
Too risky?
interesting. Risky, yes, but I don't see too much of a downside still.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
She excuses herself to the bathroom.
What that third question though?
Yeah, I know. I'm letting. You could use that as a means of like inquiring, basically, like, "Hey, have you seen her? She was supposed to meet me here," kind of thing. She was supposed to meet us here.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know if
Yeah,
she's the one who did this or not. So.
Yeah. It's either ask about Trixie or ask why he's looking at us like he is, I guess.
Why he's so interested.
Yeah.
I'll wait to go to the bathroom until after you ask the question.
I think I'll do the latter of those, which is just
Okay.
asking why he's interested. So yeah, when he comes back to the table with our drinks again, I'll just be like, it's really obvious when you're looking over here. I mean, I realize we're important customers of yours because this place isn't that busy, but it's pretty obvious to tell you're watching us. Is there something going on? Do I have something in my teeth, or someone put you up to this?
Is that your third question?
Yes.
It's really obvious that you're watching us. Why are you watching us?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure, just because.
I'm glad it's that and not do I have something in my
Yes. That's what I was
It
looking
turns
for.
out Geo does have something in his teeth.
No! I had a whole
The
episode.
whole time.
Oh, that whole conversation with Gephardt, I had. I'm so embarrassed.
Just a little mango. Relax. It's fine.
No wonder he was so mechanical.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so he starts to hyperventilate. He's like, I'm sorry. I was paid to pay attention to anybody that came in tonight. We all were. Don't tell my boss that I told you. It'll screw things up. Yeah, I gotta go. And he just bolts.
As he's bolting and as he's like kind of flustered with this conversation, I'd like to take that opportunity to try and steal the bracelet from him.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna throw tricks of the trade, misdirection.
Nobody knew me and Geo together would be a bad idea.
And people trust me.
We thought it was just going to be you and Flora, but no.
No, now it's, hey, loot the corpses. That's what I'm waiting for it to happen.
Hey, I did not loot any corpses, and this guy's still alive. He's running away.
So I just am gonna say this now. Morrigan is an enabler. Let's be clear about that.
I do not appreciate your accusations, sir.
You know, Elliot was alive while he was
I
running away, too.
am a supporter, okay? A supporter.
Yeah, this is like right after I just told you that I like stopped working tables because I didn't want to use my powers too much.
I mean, this is for the greater good.
You're right.
Did you say gray or good?
Yep, definitely the greater good.
No,
Grayer. Grayer. Not
Grayer. It's, I mean, it's not black and white. It's gold. This man's bracelet, which I am trying to steal.
Okay, so hold on.
Okay.
Do you think there are any weaknesses that apply before I apply one?
I would say showman potentially.
You got it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
My only argument against that is that doing this is also kind of showing off a little bit to Morrigan.
Just because you're showing off to Morrigan doesn't mean that you're not going to do it with a flourish and a grandiose kind of ta-da.
You're right.
If he gets it after the fact, he totally would.
If
when a guy
if
left.
this is a mild success, I'm taking it. I'm looking at it, and I'm showing off to him that I fucking found it, or that I have it, that I took it from his wrist.
Even if he doesn't see it, he just said that they were all paid to watch anybody who comes in.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So he may not be the only one who's paying attention.
Right. That's true. All right. So let's go ahead and roll that. Is that a change the game?
Okay, so I think this is a great time to have that conversation because
I definitely say sneak around.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. There's a couple of things going on here.
Yeah.
Right? It could be a sneak around because he wants to hide it would be a built-in hide the effect. He could change the game, create a couple of story tags. One could be that he could hide the effect, especially if it's a great success. It could also be take a risk.
Yes, it could.
Since he's doing it in a public place, and he already, as was acknowledged, everybody in that restaurant would be aware. They should be watching people. Everybody who works there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So it really is on you, ultimately, how you want to intend to do this. But the choice of move will determine the result, success or failure, right? Like the tone of the result and how it will be narrated.
Okay.
I'm partial to take a risk only because Gio's character has done this type of stuff in public before because that's kind of his thing, like it used to be. So I don't know if it's risky. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to think of like how his character is.
Yeah, I think take a risk might be the one that applies more here.
You do?
Potentially, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's sneak around personally. I think take a risk is like you've never done it before kind of deal, and you're taking a risk to.
And like,
Yeah.
it depends on like how many people are watching. But but then again, it doesn't. If you're very good, it's like a magician,
right?
Look where my hands. Look where I want you to look, not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right. And that's very much what he's doing. Misdirection is one of the power
around.
tags he's using.
Yeah.
Look at me. Now look at your man. Now look back at me.
So I think it's either change the game or sneak around. I'm gonna lean more towards sneak around, but like let's say he's successful with sneak around and he gets the bracelet because the guy put the bracelet in behind him off his wrist.
Well, he
that was before. At this point, he's back again. So.
Okay.
What I'm imagining right now is he's handing us drinks, and like I'm just kind of talking to him, and like I caught him off guard before he could actually hand them to us, and so like I'm distracting him by like basically taking the glass from his hand and taking the bracelet along with it, and he's kind of flustered by the conversation to notice.
So the story tag would be like the bracelet. Would you get that if you did a sneak around?
Yeah, that's kind of the question.
When you on a hit,
it creates a story tag. You mean?
On a hit, everyone that should fall for it falls for it. So in that mindset, I think that given that description of the result, if he completely succeeds, then absolutely he would get a story tag. Right? There's a play there that would come for it in the same way that taking a risk would. He would get the story tag of bracelet. Right? The only difference is that with changing the game, he would have the ability to have a larger effect on that, whether it's how he the effect, or maybe it was misdirection and there's something else going on, right? That's the element where it's like it's more than just the one story tag.
Up to you, man.
So I'm tempted at this point to say change the game, because I think there's multiple things in effect here, which is one, that I would get the bracelet, and like two, that this person would no longer have the bracelet and potentially be like under the effects of it, if that's like what's going on there. So I change the game seems to make sense to me in terms of that, I guess.
Another thing I could do is prolonging the effect of not noticing that the bracelet's gone.
Yeah. So distracted or something status. Yeah, let's go with change the game.
Now you have to roll successfully.
Yep, let's do it.
After all of this conversation.
Yeah, it's super easy. No problem at all. Great success.
Yes.
Yeah, see?
Good.
So great success.
All right.
Juice.
So spend your 3 juice.
All right. So first juice, I get a story tag, which is the bracelet. I have it.
Okay.
Okay, second juice story tag. This guy is distracted, I'll say.
Like unnoticed?
Yeah, well, I want to say like befuddled or something, like where he's no longer like he's like too nervous to really pay much attention to anything else anymore.
Distracted, tier 1.
Sure.
Hide the effect.
Yeah, and hide the effect.
Had the effect of what?
Of what I just did. Where
You mean you hiding the effect of the fact that you basically...
I just stole the bracelet.
Okay, all right, great.
Cool.
You put a friendship bracelet on him and
So you now have a story tag, and it's the bracelet with runes on it on the one side,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of those bracelets that just like it's covered 3/4 of the or almost all the way, right? It's not like a full bracelet like a hook or something.
Right.
It's more like a bracer kind of a thing, I guess. Is what you call it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll wait for him to leave the table and like go to the back or something, and then I'll just like pull it out of my pocket and like dangle it to Morrigan and then hide it again.
And Morrigan just kind of like hits this like big grin on her face. She's like, very nice.
All right. That's step 1. We'll take a better look at this later. You want to try the
opt out
tricksy
of
plan?
the change then, I think. I don't know if it's necessary or if it's a good idea, but if you think I should, I can still do it.
I don't know. Up to you.
Well, if they're all paid to watch people, I'd be a little bit concerned. Maybe we should find out a little bit more from their boss. Supposedly told them that they needed to do all this.
That's a good point. You want to be the type who asks to see the manager?
I can totally do that.
All right.
Okay. She's gonna get up out of her chair and go to the next waiter/waitress, whoever's available, since
Okay.
ours kind of ran away. Excuse me. We've been waiting for a check for a while, and our waiter just took off. Can I just talk to a manager and let him know what happened?
Yeah, sure. Hold on just a second. Can I get you a round of drinks? On the house?
No, we're good. We just kind of want to know if there's something wrong or what's going on. Just let the manager know that there's a problem with our waiter.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay. Just go ahead and have a seat back down. I'll have the manager come out in just a second.
Thanks.
The waiter just kind of moves into the back towards the kitchen, and you're left there kind of waiting for a couple of minutes, and then a woman in her 40s kind of walks up, dressed really nice, in sort of a host attire, but just really kind of nice, and kind of steps up and she says, "Is there a problem with your service? Where is Philippe?"
Yeah, that's kind of why I asked for you. He was being very strange. And I don't know if maybe he had some kind of personal stuff going on, but he just ran off in the middle of a conversation when we were talking about the check. So
That's incredibly unusual for Philippe. She's being genuine.
mm-hmm.
That's wow. Okay. Well, do you need anything else besides the check? Can I get you a round of drinks in the house just to to apologize?
No, but is there? I mean, if it's not very typical, I'd be concerned. His service was great up until that point, so
Well, I'll just make sure to I'll make sure to check into him. I'm gonna have your check sent over as soon as possible. Is there anything else I can do for you?
As she's talking to him, I want to do an investigate to kind of sense her whether she has any guilt or anything. There's something there. No.
Go ahead. I'm just curious, how you're gonna play this. So.
I'm like just trying to get a sense for her emotion, if she's really genuinely like concerned for Philippe, or if she knows that there's stuff going on behind the scenes. So I guess no desire as well. And I'm going to use Radiate Authority since I did the ask for the manager bit there. And I'm going to say psychology just to read her a little bit better.
Okay, what kind of a move is this though?
Investigate.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give myself apathetic because I actually don't really care about him. I'm just trying to get more information. So,
you got to mark an attention to that.
Yep. Okay. I got it. All right. Roll and investigate. Cool. Did that actually deduct properly though? Let's see.
It did not deduct.
Okay. So it's a 9 then.
It's for 3 minus 2. Okay, yeah. So you still get your questions, right?
Okay.
You might get some vagary, but yeah.
Okay.
So
I guess the weakness check mark doesn't work.
It's not working again. Is that whole roll 20 bullshit? But okay. So go ahead and ask your questions.
Oh no, that was right. It did because I had a 4 and it was a -1. So it did actually remove it.
All right, sounds great.
Sorry, I was just double checking. Okay, so my questions, I get 3, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did we see that other people were wearing bracelets, or was it just him?
You didn't look.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to use one of your questions to look?
Yeah.
No.
So it was just him?
It's just him.
But he implied that other people were told to do the same thing. Okay.
That's not the same thing as wearing the bracelet.
It seems strangely inactive here tonight. I came here at the recommendation of Cal, and he, very spoken well about this place, and it just seems really strangely dead on a Friday night. Is there something happening?
We originally had a private party that was supposed to happen tonight, but it kind of fell through at the last minute. They paid half their deposit, but I mean, I don't know how else to kind of tell you other than it's we had expected to be closed. Some of our regulars kind of showed up, and it turned out to be an okay night. We're typically we're a lot more busy on these kind of nights.
Before I ask the next question, does anybody else have a question that they want? I was thinking about asking who booked the private party, but if there's another question that you guys think is better.
I don't know. I think the implication there is that there was a private party booked and someone else forced it to be canceled. Like Trixie was the one who canceled it so that it would be cleared out.
It might be a thing where it's they might be saying that someone had a private party and was canceled, but it really wasn't canceled. It was like they just bought out the restaurant.
Right, yeah.
But actually, that wouldn't explain anything. A private party booking out the place and then not showing up wouldn't mean that other people wouldn't still show up and just be let in. That explains nothing.
That's true.
Because most of the time when you go to a private party, it's or when you go to a place and they're having a private event, you don't know beforehand.
Right.
So you walk. I don't know if this is a place where you make reservations or you can walk in.
We didn't.
Yeah, we walked in.
If this was the sort of place where somebody bought out the entire restaurant, they would have had the sign placed as closed, and you got
right. Well, sure, yeah. Obviously, it got canceled, or it never actually was booked, and there's something else going on. So,
now, if she knows that, you would know if she was lying when she said that there was a private party, right?
Right.
She's not lying.
Yeah, I didn't think she was. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we ask who it was? Or something else?
That might be the best option. I can't think of a better question to ask, so.
Let's think.
There's also the direct option of saying he mentioned that someone had paid him to keep an eye on us, and just like asking, but I don't know how well that would go either.
Wait,
I mean, at this point, I think it's already like
you could always, because like this person looks like to be like either like the hostess or like the shift supervisor. This necessarily doesn't mean that this is Felipe's boss. So you can ask, be like, who's your boss?
His name is Philippe.
Philippe? I'm sorry.
Like the horse from Beauty and the Beast.
No, like Philippe Gaston from Lady Hawk.
Also hot.
Matthew Bravo.
Okay.
So I mean, like, you could ask who is your boss, or like go up the chain more, because I don't think she's the boss.
Yeah, that's probably a fair assumption.
Like,
I don't know.
One thing I would warn is that if you do say, you know, I'd rather speak to your boss, then your insight check on this person is now null and void, and you would have to roll again for a new.
Yeah.
That's assuming that the boss is even here.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That whatever questions you have apply to this person and not their boss. So,
you could
I feel
ask
like-
who else is watching you now.
No, I feel like just getting the name of the person that booked the private party.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my question. So
Yeah,
who
or who's responsible for the booking being canceled?
Steve.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Oh, the party organizer, or the party organizer. Apparently, it was a. I'm not sure why I'm telling you this. It was one of the organizers from Acer Industries. They had booked it out for the night, and then they canceled at the last second. They paid us the deposit, and so we're good.
One of the organizers?
Yeah, they have people. They have corporate organizers that they have come in and potentially. Apparently, they were supposed to be a big gathering here tonight, an intimate gathering, but with some folks that were from out of town. I don't know. All I know is that we were supposed to be set up. We got here early. We got word that we were canceled, and then
Okay. Well, we'll take her a check now.
And she says, "Okay, well, great." And she kind of moves off to grab the check for you.
Gio, I swear to God, Harold is in everything.
I mean,
I'm like whispering this to Gio, just to be very clear. I'm not like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Harold did this?
I don't know if it's Harold, but Acer Industries again? Again? Come on.
They booked out the place, so. I mean, it
Why
could have
does-
been Trixie too, right? She has some sway there.
Yeah, well, Derek confirmed that they haven't been able to see her, like find her in. I
true.
think it was like days, not weeks. I don't remember what it was. But nobody's seen her.
Also have her emails for the last week.
Yeah, I haven't even checked any of those yet.
Think they booked this place by email?
Maybe. That's a good point. I wouldn't have. Well, if it was canceled earlier that day, no, I wouldn't have had that day's emails, would I? Because you got the.
You wouldn't have today's emails.
Yeah, I would have had the previous emails. I guess I can look through and see if there was mention of the restaurant booking.
Booking an entire restaurant, that's the sort of thing that you plan a week or two in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely have the last week's worth of emails based on the day that Johnny got them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, but first we pay the check and get out of
Yes.
here.
Yes. Definitely.
Okay, so as you're doing that,
And we
you realize that
don't tip. No, we tip.
Oh, we definitely tip.
as you do that,
Yeah.
you're looking out, you definitely see somebody is actually paying attention to you. It's not Philippe, but from the back corner, kind of looking your direction and just kind of watching the two of you kind of exit out of the restaurant.
Are they inside or outside watching us?
They're inside. They're eating and they're having a drink, but they're clearly just kind of paying attention to you and they're not being subtle about it.
If they're not being subtle, like, can I get a good look at them?
Yeah, they look like
Trisha
sort
Bjorn.
Sort of a 40s man, kind of balding, scraggly, kind of unshaven, with a mustache. There's a hat on the table, kind of a disheveled suit, and clearly eating some excellent Cajun jambalaya.
Kind of want to turn around and introduce myself, or like just sit down.
It's tempting,
It's so tempting.
but I feel like we should probably get out of here. Make a mental note. More people watching than just a way to... Can we see if... Does this guy have a bracelet on too?
Are you pointedly looking to figure out if he's got a bracelet on?
Sure.
You don't have to investigate. No, he doesn't have a bracelet on.
Okay.
I think this is the boss. I'm gonna turn around and as I'm like turning around, I've got my phone at my side and I'm just like I'm like holding the shutter button for multiple images, trying to get a picture of this dude's face.
He shakes his head at you as he just kind of puts his head in his hands and shakes his head.
Jigs up as
Investigators extraordinaire.
I'm just gonna go up to the table and say, if you want to talk to me, then just talk to me. Don't be
as
all...
you're taking pictures.
Yeah.
You're taking pictures of them, and it comes out, and you decide that you're going to start to move over there.
Yeah.
You get a text from Derek.
God damn it. Okay.
Derek, please.
You're interrupting. No, I'm just kidding. What does it say?
In all caps. What the hell? What the hell did you start? I just got word that Caparelli is dead. And that's where we're going to end it.
Nice. Cool.
Message, in chat.
This is fantastic. Yeah, I just saw that pop up.
We killed Caparelli.
Good job, guys.
Dude.
I knew that was
Greg's gonna have to make a new character and
that Caparelli's dead. I can get you another one, Derek, don't you worry.
You see, the problem is the guy in the next cell. He gets these really expensive cigars shipped in. Some of the bailiffs, kind of bring it into him. And somebody decided to put out a cigar, on Caparelli's arm, and he just went up like.
Not quite how it happened. I know specifically how it happened based on a conversation with Greg, but that's pretty good. I like that a lot.
It's awesome.
I can't wait to see the autopsy.
So here's the problem right now is that it is day 5, the beginning of day 5 for Wednesday crew, which means that Gephardt doesn't know that his fake version of himself is dead now for 2 days.
Or he does and just didn't act any differently because of it.
Well, it would make sense that he wouldn't know about it because his replicant isn't there sending birds out.
That's true.
I mean, he could have sent a bird before he... I mean, it depends on how he died, right? If it was like a self-destruct thing, then he could have... Oh, I want to know!
And you'll find out next week.
We're never going to get past
We need to
day
catch
4.
up. This is ridiculous.
Well, tomorrow, next week we start on day 5. Or no, we start on day 4. Shit, you're right.
Yeah, day 4. You guys...
Day 4, and they're going to be like, oh, we montage like all the way to day 7. And we're going to be like, okay. But they still won't know anything. They'll be like...
Yeah, but that's
they'll figure out like, oh, Gephardt really likes 80s music. JP awkwardly was nervous with Thor, or whoever the fuck was chasing him. Malcolm is going to imagine some shit, and then Flora is going to spit at people, and that's essentially.
Gross.
I mean, that's what she does.
I know it's gross. I just get grossed out every time she does that.
She's like one of those arrowfish, just knock something out of the sky.
Yeah, I mean, for what they figured out, I mean, like maybe last episode they figured out maybe something.
Well, they got some good investigation done.
They did last. It was like the JP Malcolm connection. They got some good because they didn't focus on themselves.
Well, sorta.
That
dragons.
was a miracle in and of itself.
Man, they're just going to be worrying about dragons the entire time. Mal's going to be directing it towards that, and nothing else is going to get done.
You guys did a lot this time.
Look at you taking notes.
You do that every episode for us?
Oh, wait, is that just tonight?
You kill so many trees.
That's just tonight.
That's just tonight? What are you taking notes on?
Is that like a shorthand, a script of everything we said?
I mean, Johnny had a montage, and then he went home, and that's all literally Johnny did today.
Johnny had his own little private, separate adventure, so let's just not talk about that.
Yeah, it's funny.
You got your crow adventure.
Yeah, Johnny. Gosh.
He took notes on the mint juleps, which were fantastic. The shrimp etouffee, which just amazing.
I don't want to know.
Like Morrigan's crime board at this point is just a jumbled mess. Although I do want to say privately, the thing that they found out about last night, I had on my board as a theory.
Did. She literally yelled at the TV screen today while we were watching.
It's good. Yeah. Sorry.
It's all good.
That's great. Which thing was that they found out?
About Samuel.
I don't.
Towards the end of the episode?
I do not remember. I was not paying enough attention. Whatever.
High on NyQuil too.
And I'm talking about in game knowledge, character knowledge of like her working through something. I'm not talking about me.
Yeah.
There's definitely things that I know personally that Morrigan has no indication of at all right now.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of that. I mean, this whole episode was us knowing that Gephardt was a replica in prison and like us trying to figure that out in character.
Yeah. Without saying that we knew it.
Yeah. But we figured it out, and now he's dead.
You murdered him.
That's what Cal's gonna think.
Oh. Just wait until the conversation with Cal.
I don't even know. Like, things are just gonna explode.
I'll explain things to Cal. I'll be like, it wasn't really a person. It was a doll that looked like a person, so it's fine. Yeah. And then he'll be like, "You think that was a doll? They're people too."
Yeah.
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 That was great. Let's go around to the cast and get final thoughts, and you guys can tell us where we can find you online and stuff. And we'll start with Metamancer.
Hi guys, I'm Metamancer. You can see my face now, as opposed to earlier in the episode. I am also a Twitch streamer and a GM and role player in general, digital artist, etc., etc., etc. Do a lot of tabletop stuff. You can find me on twitch.tv/Metamancer or on Twitter at the Metamancer. And Twitter is generally the easiest place to keep track of what I'm doing. Episode tonight was insane. I love that we got through the day finally. However, I feel like I'm walking away with a lot more questions than I thought I would. Usually by the conclusion of all of our episodes, I kind of feel like I have like little ties on things, little things that kind of help add up, thus my board that I've made. But now Morrigan is more confused, especially now that she's gotten this text from Derek, as to what the hell is going on. And she's very worried that she probably is actually responsible for the fact that he's dead now because of the fact that she went to go visit him. So there's that and all that jazz. Yeah, it's good though. I like that Johnny got to do a thing for himself, even though nobody knows about it yet. Well, in character, we don't know about it. I'm very curious about this other person at the table and the dude that was questioning about the Anatoly dude that was questioning about Johnny and Morrigan. There's just a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of questions now. There's a lot more questions. So many. Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, there's more questions every single time, and god damn it. We get I don't even know if we get answers anymore. It's just more questions. It just goes deeper. It just only goes deeper.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go over to Trendane for his thoughts and where we can find him.
Very cool episode tonight. In the same way that last week had this explosive powerhouse of emotion, this one had a lot more intrigue, and it was much more subtle. There were much more refined movements as opposed to big sweeping things. I really like that kind of dichotomy in my role play. And as for always getting more questions and not always getting more answers, it's one of the things I loved about Babylon 5. You know, eventually you were tracking so many threads all the time. Like, I should just weave a poncho out of this. It's the only way I'm going to find anything out of this. It just, So, yeah, I told you the DVDs are right there. You're welcome to borrow them. Just you and I, Cheesecake Factory. I'll bring them with me. There we go. Anyway,
I said we are doing that. We'll talk afterwards too.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and then we've got the Tide House discussion afterwards. So
Tide Pods.
Okay. No, those taste terrible. So I'm Trent Sparks. I was playing Calvin Gannicus this evening, who in my imagination, to really impress Harold Bjorn, wound up getting spit roasted by his two bodyguards, and came through it in just shining fashion. But anyway, you guys don't need to think about that any more than you already have. And so I would say that you will see me where? Tomorrow? Right? We're doing a thing tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Friday. So
yeah, I know tomorrow's Friday.
Oh, yeah. We're doing that offline.
Oh, never mind then. You
Yeah.
guys can't come. I mean, you guys can come, but the rest of you.
Secrets.
I didn't realize you were talking to me because I was like, I'm not.
I wasn't.
Tomorrow.
I was talking to the ether. But I figured you'd pick up on it at some point. So that thing that I just said, never mind. Aside from that, which you don't know about anymore because we hit the history eraser button lightly, so it was only to delete the last minute or so. You will see me on Saturday on Arben Eleron's Twitch channel at some point in the evening. Yeah, that Arben Eleron in chat, where we will be continuing the Rise of Tiamat, D&D 5th edition, where I play the human druid named Fifley Harper, who is, I think, still an air elemental. And we're about to fight a blue dragon that is laying waste to a town, and there's a big airship that's sweeping in like the Millennium Falcon. I shouldn't think about that. I'm going to start crying like I do every time I watch it. Anyway, yeah, that was me. McLoken, you want to please?
I'm waiting for the tears now.
No.
Hello, I'm McLoken. I am a broadcaster here on Twitch. I do a show called Chosen that airs Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central. And it's a mix between D&D, 5e, and Final Fantasy. It's a fantastic campaign. I love playing in it. I feel like nothing gets done in that campaign, but you know,
Bunch of nerds.
Yes, we're a bunch of nerds. You guys, I believe next week, I'm going to be in a Warhammer campaign. I'm not sure. I think that's true. And then I'm in this campaign on Thursdays. The same time, 7 p.m. Central. Fantastic crew. I love playing with you guys. And I'm in Call of Cthulhu on Sundays. And I believe that's all I really do. Sometimes I play games. I haven't been playing games too often lately. Kind of busy with personal life stuff. So, yeah. But totally, you guys. What I was excited about this episode, I got to do a little like Johnny not acting like Johnny. I liked that. I had to think more like my mythos than Johnny. And so now Johnny is having that dilemma of like, hey, who am I then? And coming to that realization and having that growth and going that way. The Morrigan and Geo Detective Agency, now in business, you know. And then Tren. I don't know what Cal's doing. I literally don't know. I don't know if Cal's just like, fuck it, that other side seems like they got some good shit going on. I'm gonna go that team, or if he's just like trying to get information. So to Cal, for me, I think Cal's trying to get information, but I don't know how well that's gonna go for him. It seems to be going super well so far. So yes.
I just want to point out we don't actually know who the bad guy is for a fact. Like we are guessing. I think Cal's intention is to be like, listen, I'm joining somebody. So if they're bad or good, who knows?
I don't.
Johnny's muted.
Do you want me to give you a nice little tidbit about that?
Yes, no, yes.
Well,
yes.
when you put it so romantically.
Yeah.
The bad guy, the big bad, has been introduced. You guys.
I think I know who it is, based on my own.
Is it the stereotypically evil one who we met today?
No, can I say who it is? Is that okay?
You're more than welcome to. I'm not going to confirm it.
Oh.
I know who it is. I know who it is. It's fine.
Well, I mean, like 3 of you know who it is. Me and Meta are just like, I mean, we can guess all day. And like introduce this episode or like
it's Samuel, that's who it is, okay? That's who I think it is. Mm-hmm.
Not responding.
I don't know who the big bad is.
Cal
for the
thinks
simple fact, I
really.
think it's the sisters that are the big bad. That was my theory. I told Meta that like weeks ago. I was like, they're doing some shady shit. And it seems that they had been doing some shady shit. We got kidnapped, and then they didn't get kidnapped.
Maybe they're all bad. How about that?
Eat a dick. Eat a dick. Okay, that's my philosophy right there. But yeah. As far as anything, I don't know what's going on.
I want Cal to tell us who he thinks it is. Well, Tren in this case. Say it. You won't.
I think that the world is more complex than that, and that there is no big bad guy. There's only a difference of opinions, man. I think Morrigan's the big bad.
What?
Oh.
I mean, that's like that's like the secret boss that like it's super hard to beat, and you're like, oh shit, and then when you beat him, you get like something cool, like a ribbon or something.
I just had a really great scene set up in my head for Morrigan. That's gonna be good. I'm gonna have to figure out how to work that in.
Sweet. I'm down. I'm down for whatever. Chaos and destruction. Trent, who do you think it is? We're all waiting.
Good.
Why would you share with
because
the
he knows
you're not a team player?
I am very much a team player.
We have 3 world builders that like created this setting in our game. I mean, like, so essentially going like, hey, you know, who's the big bad guy? Why'd the sisters disappear? They may have a
Trent
general
didn't make
idea.
the big bad guy.
Huh?
Trent didn't make the bad guy.
He helped with world building.
I thought he just was in the one shots.
No, Trent helped with world building too, but so did I, and I'm not totally sure who the big bad guy is.
So they've been introduced. Just in our show they've been introduced, or
I'm not going to answer something.
I was gonna say, don't you dare.
I honestly think the big bad is fucking, what is it? Antonio.
There is? Yeah, he's evil.
Well, we know he's evil.
Well, I know he's evil but like I think like he may be the big bad. Because I'm trying to think who else we've seen. Harold may be the big bad, but I think Harold's the big bad for a different part. And I think he's related to why the mist is not working properly as the way it should be right now. That's my theory, because the phrase he said, "Hey, I want the world to be better for people like you." So I think somewhere along those lines, he's in that arc, and it's same with the Gray Suit Men. I think they're all kind of like together. But beyond that, I don't know who. It has something to do with the Desiree sisters or Darier or whatever the fucking last name. I can't remember. Darier. And possibly Trixie. Darier and like Trixie. Because
given who Trixie is, then yeah, obviously.
Yeah. And so I think there's something there. They didn't just disappear because they're like or get like kidnapped or like disappear and just because they wanted to get away from life. I think something's going on and they know something's going on and they're plotting something, but what, I don't know.
See, more questions than answers.
Yeah. I
mean, how many people haven't been introduced yet that are part of the puzzle? Who knows? Only Johnny knows.
How does Johnny know? What the hell have you been doing, Loke, when I'm not around?
Reading your books. That's a DM no. Don't read my notebook, you motherfucker. Yeah. Anyways, I'm McLoken. Twitch.tv/McLoken. You follow me on Twitter @McLoken. Follow me on YouTube, McLoken. McLoken everywhere. Search McLoken and you'll see this dumb face.
Oh, no.
Oh no, the text message.
Oh, not that. No.
No, but you should look at the text messages.
I'm going to. It just had it pop into my head. McLoken in all the wrong places.
Are there really any wrong places though? Trent?
Am I in all the wrong places? Wow.
No, they're not. Well,
it's Mr. Gallows. He's the real bad guy.
Everybody's a bad guy.
We're all bad guys.
And Morrigan
We're
just
not good people.
Already. Jeez.
All right. Let's get wrapping things up here. Johnny, Video Store Cowboy, tell us about your thoughts and your channel and everything.
My thoughts are I'm keeping them real close to my chest right now because there was some good stuff drops tonight. It was an unexpected move by Cal to go visit Harold Bjorn and play that card. I was wondering if Johnny was going to do that, but the fact that it's Cal that's doing it, that could be some interesting play there. Gives me some opportunities that I wasn't quite expecting previously. I think you guys did amazing. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to watching you squirm over the next week as you try to figure out all those questions, Meta, because I know that that's what's going to be happening.
I'm obsessive. I can't help it.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, we're not going to bed till like 1 a.m. now because.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad I'm torturing you.
And then at 2, she's gonna be like, wait, what if it's in the stop it?
All right. So I thought it was great. I think you guys did phenomenal tonight. I'm looking forward to next week. I'm Johnny. I am the Video Store Cowboy. You can find me at Video Store Cowboy everywhere, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, blah, 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 except for Twitter where there's that 15 character limit. So it's Vid Store Cowboy. And yeah, that's where you can find me. And tomorrow I'm going to be over on Arvin Elrond's channel doing the second episode of Esper Genesis, which is this, sort of space opera, sci-fi kind of a thing, conversion of D&D. We had our first game session last month, and this is our first full session, and I'm looking forward to the craziness that is going on there. So come check that out. I've got it posted on my channel as well. So and just for quick reminder, on Saturday over on Unmade Gaming's channel, we're doing a charity stream, and there will be another one-shot in the world of Metropolis going on. So if you want to check it out, go over to Unmade Gaming and follow what's going on over there.
Yep, definitely. And like Johnny said, this is a collaborative show. It is done across 3 channels. That is Video Store Cowboy, Unmade Gaming, and NotSoSpeedRuns. So you can catch it 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on each of those channels. You can also make sure to follow the Twitter at 6n20. And make sure to follow the 6n20 YouTube as well, which I have the link for right here. Also, the show is in part sponsored by the wonderful people at Son of Oak, who make the game City of Mist. If you are at all interested in the system, if you really like it, if you like what you've seen here, you can buy a copy of the core book using our coupon code 6n20fan to get $5 off, and use that link right there to get to it. Also, we have a giveaway running right now. So if you think this system's really cool, you can go ahead and enter the giveaway and again have a chance to win a copy of that awesome core book. The art in it is beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful. And it's helped us run this amazing system, and people at Son of Oak have been incredibly kind to support us with it. So absolutely go enter that. Other than that, I don't think I have any other additional announcements, so we can end things up here with a raid. And today we are going to go ahead and raid people over at Just Roll With It. They're an awesome channel that all they do is D&D, and currently they're playing a Star Wars campaign, which they are fairly early on in, and there's some pretty cool people playing in that. So you should definitely go show them some love, copy and paste that raid command in chat, and we will go over there. So thank you guys so much for coming out here and watching. It's been really awesome to see all the people here, and awesome to have this really cool role-playing experience. I can't wait for next week to uncover more mysteries. We will see you all next time, and as always, don't forget to take it slow. Bye.